Start. Okay, welcome to our Booking and Home Show Fresh Cookie Camp training. This is our block one, and this is actually the first time we're doing this training. It's all new if you've done Fresh Cookie Camp with us before. We're going to cater it a little bit to Consultant Basics training, and the handouts have been sent ahead of time. So you can also find those in an email I sent, and eventually they'll be on our website that I am rebuilding. Okay, so we're starting with Booking in the Home Show. Well, this whole session is going to be about that. And there was a prerequisite. If you didn't get to it, fine. Please make sure you do it afterwards because it's very important. And that is to view the Hostess stacking videos. Anybody here do that before?
I did.
You did? Very good. Gold star, imaginary gold star.
I've seen it before.
You've seen it before, yes. We saw them live, didn't we?
Yeah, that was the second time
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah. So I did send in our in the intro to this training the link and where to go to watch those. But it is really important. And actually, Trisha's going to give us a slightly more casual example of it later of what she did. Did you know that? And
Did you know you were going to do that?
yeah, she did. She had about 5 minutes to prepare. And so, but it. One thing that NYRA says and that our field development managers say is that, you know, everything that we talk about is a way. It is not the way. Try everything first. Try it several times before you decide that it's not working for you. And that applies to everything we're going to talk about in booking or recruiting or whatever. And there's new ideas all the time. And you'll find that the seasoned consultants keep trying the new ideas because why not? It's a lot more fun to change it up. And there will be seasons per se where something works very well and then maybe that doesn't work anymore and you do something else. But it's not unlike any other business that you would be in where you have to try different things. We're going to really sort of attack the basics, but with a few ideas that we've come across with our new field development managers from the last couple of years. And so we're going to start with Consultant Basics Training number 2, Booking. And you'll find that in some of these handouts that we've sent, wait, I've got a question here. Do we get to pick which stacking video we like the best? I like Michelle's version. Okay, of course. You can do whatever you like. So there are some of these handouts you've got things to fill in, and that's just sort of to, you know, really put it in your brain when you write that down. And so we're going to start with this one. And you'll find that in some of this training that we're doing, we're going to skip some things that you can really do at home for homework. Hey, welcome, welcome. Don't forget to get something to eat and all that. And so I'll let you know which parts are homework. And I really do think that you should go home while it's fresh in your brain, maybe not tonight, but in the next couple days, and just go through the homework portions of this. And you can also take Consultant Basic Training online. It is a slimmed down version of this training, so you don't get all the accoutrement from the seasoned leaders, you know, where we're going to add in these really great tidbits. Did you like that? The accoutrement?
That's practicing for St. Martin. Right?
Yes, yes. Okay, so we're on page 1 of the booking handout. Don't worry, you have nothing to catch up on. We're just starting.
This is Lauren, everybody.
Hi, Lauren.
She's the newest.
She's brand new and she's in class.
Welcome. Yay.
Very good. We're so glad that you're here. Okay, so the first part of it we're actually going to skip. We're going to skip the very first part of it. And I'm going to go on to ask you these questions. Yes. Well, you know how to do it? Just unwind. Yeah. So there are some blanks for you to fill in. And the first line is, Booking Home Shows is the lifeline to your business. So you'll be filling in lifeline. And then in the next sentence, home shows are the easiest and fastest way to grow your income. Did you get it? Okay. There's another saying, no show, no dough. And that is really true. You have to put yourself in front of people in order to meet people, in order to book more shows, have more sales, recruit people. So if you want to grow in this business, you got to do home shows. That's where you will have individual sales. You will recruit your friends, all of those things. But to grow, you've got to put yourself in front of an audience, right? Are you okay, Rami? You got it there?
I don't think I think I have the leader one. I don't think I have the.
Well, the leader one still has it filled in already, so that's
Oh,
okay.
that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it's the easiest and fastest way to grow your income. When you're discouraged about your business, book a home show. You can also observe a home show or hold a home show in your home. Do you think there's kind of a theme going here? It's about holding a home show, right? And if you don't have any shows on your books, you can hold a show in your home. Start over. We are starting our businesses over every day anyway, so you might as well, get used to sort of reinventing and just because you invited friends before and they, if they didn't come, it doesn't mean they won't come this time. So there are several consultants who actually have a show in their home every month, and then you get what you get when people arrive. Home shows are the answer to every question in your business. The more you hold, the better you get. The better you get, the more money you make. Are you having trouble, Lisa?
No.
And the more money you make,
Have trouble.
the more you want to hold another home show. So again, that was the more you hold, the better you get. The better you get, the more money you make. And the more money you make, the more you want to hold another home show. Oh, that's true. When you start making some money on those home shows, where's the next one? I want to do this again. I would say that when you're brand new, it seems to be a bit easier to get shows because you're just tapping into that circle of friends. When you're You do? Okay. Well, I think it's a little bit different for everybody, but then it might even be tougher later. When your calendar runs dry, if you let your calendar run dry, it is difficult. You've already been to those friends. So you have to step out of your comfort zone and you have to find new ways to book shows. And there really is business all around us. It's just how we're asking, how we're talking about the benefits of having a home show.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
add something
Yes.
to that? It's very true how you have to think more creatively.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I have learned throughout these years is the fact that I'm now always thinking of where is my next show coming. So in any opportunity that I have in my life, in my lifestyle, whether it be at the baseball field or at somebody's gathering or at a birthday party or at one of my husband's events, I'm always thinking, I'm always looking, watching, listening, because that's where your mind starts to get really creative. So don't worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. It truly does. If they would have told me that years ago, I'd have been like, okay.
Right.
But seriously, it does.
Yeah.
It just happens.
And Patty, you are a little busy with a full-time job and some children too.
Mm-hmm.
How many children?
3,
Okay, so.
4 if you include my husband. Yeah.
And we definitely do. I don't even know your husband, but he's a husband, so we include him in the children factor, right? Everybody agrees with me, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think we just get a little more keen into, to listening to the needs
Yeah.
and matching that need with,
Yeah.
we could do a show and this is how that could benefit you.
That lean here is huge.
Right. Okay, so before you book home shows, you need to do a checkup from the neck up. And so you need to check your attitude. And attitude is everything. There's a great book, and it's actually called Attitude is Everything. Don't know where they got that title. I've got one. I could lend it to anybody. It's really a quick read, and it will. But if you think about that, would you book a show with you? You really got to take a look back. If somebody was sitting at a home show and they just said, well, do you want to have a show? You know, maybe you don't. You seem really busy. I don't think, yeah, you probably don't want to have a show. Well, then you're not going to book a show with that person. But if you've got the right attitude and you're excited about the possibility for them or the possibility for them to earn more jewelry or to earn it for free or just to have the girls over or they just remodeled their kitchen, this would be a great idea to get girls together and they could see that and we could have fun. And, you know, it's all about your attitude and what you're going to portray there. So it's, do I believe I have something to offer women? That's the first thing you got to think about. Do you believe you have something to offer women? And do I believe everyone I see deserves to hear what I have to offer? The biggest sales job you'll ever do will be the one selling you on what you have to offer. That's really important. Until you believe in what your product is, the service that you have, it's going to be very hard for you to sound convincing to somebody else. Okay, so you have to believe that this is a very good offer. Whether it is to sign up with Cookie Lee or to book a home show, you need to believe that this is really a great thing for somebody to do. You will sell in spite of you, because the jewelry is awesome, but you will always book because of you. So you will sell in spite of you, but you will always book because of you. Now, those of you who are new, you may not have heard this before, but our theme really on this team when we talk about shows is to create the experience. And I probably don't bring it up enough. But when I was just kind of playing around just now saying, oh, you don't want to book it, yeah, you're too busy and everything, obviously you're not going to book with that person. And you're probably not going to book with somebody who's attacking you either, who's just like, ah! But you, Lisa, but you are, no, I'm kidding. But you will book with somebody who you genuinely feel a connection with and that she's making it fun. So what I like to think of is that you're befriending this person that you're talking about booking a show with. And if she's got to want to invite you into her home. Her most precious possessions are her friends. And she's not going to introduce you to her friends if she doesn't feel a connection with you. So if you want that booking, you need to find that connection. You need to be able to show her what the benefits are, how much fun she's going to have, and that you really feel like, oh my gosh, we got to get together again. And the way for us to do that is for you to host a show. Can't wait to come to your house. You sound like you're so much fun, and all your girlfriends are going to be so much fun. This is great. I want to do this. When she finds that connection, you'll be able to get that booking. I don't care if you were giving her a half off or charging her double. You'll get the booking if she feels that connection. So that's really important. And that's about creating the experience. Okay, so the next thing you have to do is to set a goal. And you can talk to yourself on the way to the show, whatever it needs to be, but you need to set a goal for the shows that you want by the time you leave there. So set a goal to book 3 shows from every show that you hold. It's warm.
Hot flashing. No?
What?
It was me.
So set a goal to book 3 shows from every show that you hold. So think of it this way. When you book 1 show, you haven't grown. You've only replaced the one that you just held. When you book 2 shows, you've doubled your business. And when you book 3 shows, you've tripled your business. Wouldn't you like to leave every show knowing that you've just tripled your business? Mm-hmm. I would. Now, you are going to walk out of shows with no bookings. You're going to walk out of shows with 1 booking. You're going to walk out of shows and realize you don't have anything else on your calendar. But if you've made contacts during that show, you will have a way to follow up with people, and we'll talk about that later in this session. And that follow-up is going to be really, really important. The balance of this page is talking about establishing your work weeks, and that is homework. You're going to need to figure out when you can work so that you don't have to go back and cancel a show or reschedule a show because you made a mistake and you can't work on that night. So that's an exercise for you to do at home. Then we're going to talk about doing your homework before you get on the phone. And you will need to get on the phone, especially when you're brand new. You need to call people and ask them if they would book a show for you. And actually, I'm using the wrong words there. It's not book a show for you. I really feel that if you show the benefits and it comes from a place of service, like I really want to help you, you're going to get more bookings. You can use the I'm starting my business card, once, and that's when you're starting your business. And so you can use that terminology, but really, if you can't back it up with what the benefits are, then you're going to be hard-pressed to get those bookings. So in part of your homework on this, you're going to make a list of 10 people. So you're going to be filling in the blanks a little bit here, with whom you want to book a show. And after you make a list of 10 people, you're going to circle the 3 names on your list that are most likely to say yes. And of the 3 names you circled, put a star next to the one that you know you will kill her if she doesn't say yes. The one that you've picked up her kids at carpool, And so put a star next to the one that is going to say yes. The reason for that is we don't want you to start your phone calls with a negative. Statistically, after 10 calls, you should be getting a yes. It really takes 10 no's to get a yes. But you really don't want to start off getting those 10 no's before you get a yes. So let's start off with the one that we really, really think we're going to get a yes.
Kathy, what do you think about them taking their new jewelry to that friend? Because a lot of people don't know cookies. Well, I'm surprised that when people don't, but I'm also surprised when people do. So I don't know.
Are you just surprised?
I'm just surprised all the time. But when people see the jewelry, they fall in love with the jewelry. They're like, so take it to their house and show it to them.
I think that's a great idea. We are marketing our product when we're wearing it, and that may be how somebody noticed it. But we do have a great value in our product. And, of course, getting somebody excited by how much they would want would make them want to book a show, too, if you could show them how they could get it for free or for half off. We're going to talk about the hesitation cards in just a second. Let's see. The rest of this, so I want you to do these homework cards before you make the calls, but we're not going to do one now. I want to get into really practical training, and these are things that you can do at home. But down towards I don't know if it's the bottom on your page, but where she says, next, be prepared to book shows wherever you are. Is that on the next page or this page?
Next page.
Okay. There's a notation there that says have 5 catalogs in your tote bag at all times. You will need a chiropractor if you have 5 catalogs in your tote bag at all times. I do carry 2 or 3 and have a reserve supply in your car. But you do need to have catalogs with you. Now there are several ways that you could be passing out catalogs. You could get a little bit more of an interest first, and one of the ideas at Fashion Week was to just take one catalog and take out the pages. And in, what were they, Tiffany? What kind of envelopes were they? They were
The clear cellophane.
There was
clear
some-
cellophane envelopes. Put a sticker with your information on it or a business card and just one page of the catalog. If you'd like to see more, contact me here. Or if you have a Click website, you could refer them to that Click website and they could see the whole thing. And that way you're not just passing out catalogs all over town that may never get used or might get thrown away. So that's something that you could be doing. There's all kinds of ways to figure out. I believe that a Click website is really important to have if this is your business, because you will save on catalogs. You will make up that cost in the catalogs by having that website. Okay, so I just wanted to give you that little tidbit right there. So now let's look at these hesitation cards. And you can print these off in cardstock. The handout looks like this. And it's a 2-page handout that you can print out. And you can just keep it on the sheet of paper or print out the cards. But I would review these and sort of get used to what your terminology might be. This might not be your verbiage, but you'll get the idea. So if you were to figure out your homework, okay, I think she's going to book a show. And then review these cards. Like, what would I say to her if she said my house is too small? What would I say if she said I'm too busy to book a show? What would I say if she says I don't know enough people to invite? There's actually 6 common hesitations on here and some responses on the back. So, does everybody have these cards? Kelly,
No.
you don't have them? Does somebody over there have them?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So if I said, oh, I'm too busy to book a show, what would be one of the responses you could choose on the back side of that? So booking hesitation number 2.
I can relate. What are you busy with? It's time for you to have a girls' night in with friends and jewelry. That's a good one.
Okay, so she is prompting me to think a little bit. Yeah, you know what? I am just like really too busy with a lot of nothing, and I haven't had the girls over for a while. Actually, when you point that out to a lot of people, they will realize they haven't had the girls over in forever.
Yeah.
So it's a really fun way to have a girls' night in. So there's about 2 or 3 answers on each one of these hesitations. It's a really good idea to review them, but this is not meant to be a script. It's meant to give you clues on how you might want to answer something and really help you out when you're caught on that. When you do your homework card before you get on the phone, that homework card says, now what would her hesitation be? If she's going to bring up a hesitation, what's it going to be? And you know your friends. She's going to say she's too busy. She's going to say her house is too small. She's going to say, I just moved. Whatever she's going to say, and then you can figure out.
People say, I don't know who I would invite.
Yeah. Well, what can you do if they said, I don't know who I would invite?
Yeah, not to worry about how many people you get, or
You could
help her with the guest list.
you can help her with the guest list by giving her a frank list.
Right.
Now, the frank list will sort of, prompt her to pull these names out when you're asking her to list 5 friends, relatives, all that. So that's not just for recruiting, that's not just for us, but for her to go through and then all of a sudden she'll realize that she does know people. I always say, well, I'll come. I'm guest number 1.
The other thing I heard was, I'm sure you have 3 friends or a sister or family member. Call those 3 friends. And let's set a date, call those 3 friends and make sure they can come. And then those 3 friends can bring a friend or aunt, uncle, whatever.
That's really
Everybody
good to
has
give that
3
goal of 3 friends. Everybody has 3
3
friends.
I hope.
Yeah,
If you don't, then you need to join.
Right.
It's gonna be all of our friends.
yeah,
And some of my best shows have been with like 3 people
exactly.
because you can give incredible customer service.
You can.
And people tend to spend a lot more money if they're in an intimate setting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to give you, I'll tell you a little bit about being a success scheduler, and then I'm going to give you some goals, and we're going to move on to Lisa, who's going to give you some training. So a success scheduler is somebody who has 10 home shows on their books at all times within the next, 6 to 8 weeks. Now, I know that's a heavy calendar, but if you have 10 shows on your books within the next 6 to 8 weeks, you are a success scheduler. And if you email the company, you will get a little button that says, what, I'm a 10?
You are a 10.
They
You are
can be
10.
10 home shows.
No,
I know, they have to be home shows.
You're a 10.
They did change it
You're
for
10.
fundraisers
No,
too,
you.
though.
Right.
It-
You
there-
are a 10.
I'm a 10. Okay, you're a 10. Okay, I get it. The button says you're a 10.
Nope.
All about coffee.
No, I'm not a 10. You're a 10. Okay. All right, I'm going to give you some goals for this section. Now, I did go through this quickly. I understand that, and a lot of it is for homework, but we're going to be doing some other practical training.
Where are you? I don't
Well,
know.
see, I'm on the facilitator side, so I want you to just write down what your goals are.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So your goals are within the next 24 hours, I want you to establish your work weeks. And remember, that's to figure out when you can work. So you can just write this on the back of any of those handouts. And then call 2 people from your homework card. Now that homework card is what you're doing for your homework in the first place. So you're going to establish that list and you're going to call 2 people from it. I want you to attempt to get 3 home shows from your next home show. And you will see in here that you have a handout on 50 ways to book a show. look at that list, figure out if there are people that you could call on there, and try some of these scripting that we've been talking about. Okay, so you're going to establish your work weeks. If that's a calendar where you're actually highlighting when you can work and when is a family commitment, etc., then do that. Mine's a iPhone. Call 2 people from your homework card. I want to hear what happened with that. Book 3 shows from a home show and review the 50 ways to book a show list. Now, I'm going to pass this over to Lisa, who's going to talk to you about some other scripting things that you can say. And that first one is the booking verbiage that was in your handouts.
I decided to put this, I'm Lisa Jagger, by the way, for all of you that don't know me.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
I'm going to put the camera on you so that I can have a piece of pizza.
One of the things that I did to prepare for tonight was I thought I would put this to the test, and that's the booking verbiage. And what I had to do was I had to get organized first. It's hard. I have a full-time job. This is my fun job, and this is what I would ultimately like to do. So in order to get organized, I have this little book. It cost me $1 at the dollar store. Imagine that, $1 at the dollar store.
Dang cute.
So I put in here, everybody organizes differently, and you have to find a way that works for you, but you have to find a way to get organized, because if you don't, you have paper. Does anybody have any piles of paper? Or a junk drawer, or a junk room, or a junk box, or whatever? Anyway, I've got a lot of those, and I just moved, so my goal is to be organized. So I've used this, and basically what I've done is I've just put, I love crossing things off, because that means that was successful, that was a recruit. That was a successful show. So it's just a name, an address, or email address, and a phone number, and maybe what their interest was. And so I can take this book with me on the road. I can make a phone call if I'm getting a car wash or sitting at a light or whatever. Kathy's got some people do it on the computer. I thought the computer would work for me, but I'm not always sitting in front of my computer. So this was what worked for me. So I started there. And then I did the calendar thing. I looked at my calendar and I highlighted my mouse pad is a calendar, because I'm still getting used to my iPhone. So I've got the dates that work for me, and I just start getting on the phone calling people. Now what I did was I set aside 1 hour. Okay, I don't have kids, but I do have a husband and I have a dog. Wait, did I just say I don't have kids? I don't have
Right.
I don't have
Two
kids
legged
at
human
I'm
kind.
sorry, I don't have kids at home, but it just so happened on this particular morning, my daughter spent the night. So she was there, and it's like, okay, can you just, go take a shower and get your makeup on and, do whatever. And I'm gonna put do not disturb sign on my door, because I had, my dog came in and wanted attention. The FedEx guy came and brought my free jewelry, which was so awesome. I got $500 in free jewelry because I had recruits that qualified. So that was pretty cool. So that was a good interruption. And then I think I had a couple other things. Somebody text messaged me and somebody called me, and I'm like, okay, now I need to get another phone so I can have this, quality 1 hour. That's all I needed. But all of those things, and then if you have little ones, you have that additional distraction that I didn't have.
And before you make your do not disturb sign, instead of putting do not disturb, put success in progress.
I like that. I was thinking about putting
That's a
the
good one.
picture. I was thinking about putting the picture of the Caribbean and saying, I'm working on
There you go.
this trip for you and me.
That would work for your husband. We need to write your dog.
Yeah, careful, you might not go.
I'm gonna get a bone for him or something. Okay, so that's what I did, and I'm just kind of letting you know what worked for me. You all have to do something that works for you. So then I got I tore a sheet out, And, I decided I'm gonna call these people in order, and I've talked about this before, that sometimes you'll put this name aside because you're like, I'm gonna call her later, or she works, or whatever. Don't do that, because you're prejudging. You don't know whether she's gonna say yes or no. Just make that call. Make that call in the order that they come up. And don't, because you're gonna make excuses, and if you make one excuse, you're gonna make a lot of them. So just don't make excuses. And the phone is not that heavy. Just pick it up and make the call. All they can do is say no. And you know what? If you don't get enough no's, you're not talking to enough people. I heard that a couple of days ago. So anyway, so the verbiage that they gave you, like Kathy was saying, it's written here, but what's written might not flow from your mouth, and it might not be something that you would say. So you have to do what works for you. So you have 3 scripts here, and this is booking verbiage for new consultants, which I love because I strongly encourage you to use this to your advantage because you're new, or if you haven't had a show or you haven't had a recruit, say, beg those people. This is the only time you can beg, and seriously, just beg them, because everybody wants to help you. And that's the way that you need to look at it, is I'm starting a new business, and that's where it starts, this verbiage. I'm so excited to share with you that I'm starting my own business. It's Cookie Lee. Talk about a little bit about it. Have you heard of it? If they haven't, suggest getting together with them to show them your jewelry, and they can't help but want to book a show. Tell them why you decided to start your business. Everybody wants to help you start your own business. For me, I kind of tweaked it a little bit. When I was making my calls, I said, I'm earning extra money to spoil my grandbabies, because I just had a grandbaby in January, and then my next one's coming up, and I need to buy a double stroller. So, help me. So you kind of put a joke out there and make them kind of connect with you. What can connect them with you? And then I think later maybe we'll talk about how you connect them back to you, because you need to know a little bit about that person and how the business is going to benefit them, whether it's the free jewelry, whether it's the business opportunity, etc. Okay, so to start out strong as a new consultant, you need to book 6 shows before the end of May. So you're going to have your calendar in front of you, and you're going to say, I've got this date and this date open, and then hopefully they're going to book one of those open dates of yours. By being one of my first 6 hostesses, not only will you be helping to start my business out strong, but we will have so much fun showing off my new line to your friends. So again, pick what works for you. The great thing is you can offer them their favorite piece out of the catalog at half price by booking a show. So, and I don't like the half price as much anymore. It's like, you're going to get this $38 item for $19. That sounds a lot better than half price, because they don't know what half price is. Or a $44 item for $22. So think about.
Lisa, could I interrupt? I
Yes.
remember Belinda Ellsworth used to say, you can't take a discount to the bank. You can only take money to the bank.
I like that.
So that is true. When we talk about that, we should be saying exactly what you said.
Yeah.
You're going to save $19.
Yeah.
We said you're going to save 50%.
Yeah, they don't know what 50% is. Like, look, when you're out and about, and this is the next training that I'm going to be doing, but I'm thinking about if they like something you're wearing, if you're going to meet them, wear something that you think that they would like, and tell them that, and they're looking at what you're wearing, well, you can have this it's $38, you can have it for $19, and look at all the different ways you can wear it. And that's another training we'll do. I'll talk about the other training. So anyway. So, and when you're out and about, somebody says they like your necklace, you can't just say, oh, thank you, and just walk away. You have to learn, and this takes time. It really does, because you're like, oh my God, I just let that go. And you can pull out, you have to do what's comfortable for you. I did a little write-up about what the business means to me, because Kathy and I have talked a lot about, and we've talked a bit about how you can't convey enough to people what this business means, what it can do for your life, what the friendships are like that we've developed here, because it's amazing.
It's intangible.
You can't, there's not, and so I did this little write-up that, I'll give to somebody, but you have to find a way to tell somebody when they compliment you on your jewelry. You say, oh, it's Cookie Lee. Have you heard of it? And they say yes or no, and then you have to follow that up by, well, what piece do you like? And that's where you can say, you can get this for half price if you consider having a couple girlfriends over and having a party or a show. One of the suggestions that they make is when you pull your catalog out, have a sticky on the front of it. And again, it's going to be whatever works for you. I don't have a sticky on it. What works for me is I have a little notepad that I'll take their name and number. But with the sticky on the catalog, you can say, here's the catalog, take a look, let me have your contact information, name and phone number and email address, and I'll give you a call to see what you think. Or you can get your favorite piece of jewelry for half price out of here. Somebody said to me, how do you get people's phone numbers? It's amazing that people give you their telephone numbers and email addresses.
Women like to take direction. They take direction very well. And so when you tell them to do it, they'll do it. They will.
And sometimes they'll hesitate, and it's just like, it's okay, just walk away. And
Sometimes you'll get, well, why do you need that? And you just explain to them, well, I know that we're busy. We're all really busy. Moms, wives, whatever, and life just kind of gets in the way, and it's just a way for me to contact you so you don't have to do it later on. You don't have to think about it.
That's how Rami does it. And depending on that person, I might say something different. Like there might have been a connection where they really would like to get together. It's like you have very limited time. Sometimes it might be at the dollar store at the checkout with 12 people behind, and they're like, oh my God, look at all that. You might be at the bank. I sold a bracelet right off my arm to a teller, and the thing that I do is I tell them I'll put you on my email distribution list to let you know about specials that come up each month. And they're like specials. Women want to know about specials too, right? And then the important thing about that is the follow-up afterwards, and that's the training for later, is it not? A follow-up.
Not only could you say monthly specials, I'm sorry for interrupting, but if you actually did this and followed through with it, you could say that you have a monthly drawing for free jewelry. Usually people will give you,
Great idea.
I say, would you like to be in my email club? I usually don't use the free jewelry, but if you're starting out and you're feeling like, okay, you want to do that, then tell them that you have an email club where you send out the specials, and I have a monthly drawing for a free piece of jewelry. So usually people are going to give you their information just so they might win your drawing.
Yeah, and then the important thing is the follow-up. Put them on your, however you're going to do your follow-up, and get them on that monthly email newsletter or whatever. Now the follow-up phone call to the conversation, and you can do it a couple different ways. I've done an email follow-up that night, and then a phone call a couple days later, and they say, the excitement goes away after a couple days. They're going to forget about you and the jewelry. They're going to set it in the stack, and not even think twice about it. So you have to do that follow-up phone call. And people don't answer the phones, as you know. You could always ask if they text, and then shoot them a text and say, "Did you see something that you like? And you want to save? Did you want that bracelet for $19 or something like that?" Use something that works for that person. And I think that's all.
Okay, one other thing from, that, well, I know we're going to get to follow up, but before it leaves my brain, which is really very quickly, is that I heard Michelle Bardwell say on one of the last trainings that within 48 hours, you lose 50% of your excitement. So if you were 80% excited about booking a show and you lose 50, you're down to 30% excited about booking a show. Same with recruiting or anything else. So that 48-hour window, you lose half of the interest that you had. And if somebody was 100% excited, they would book it that night, or you would recruit them that night. So obviously, they're unsure, and it's a lesser percentage. And if they lose half that interest, it really can become something that they will not call you back, will not answer the phone, and you'll lose that chance to book with somebody. So your follow-up has to be important, and we will get to that later. And Tricia is going to talk with us on Consultant Basics Training number 3, which is Hostess Coaching. And what I did on this is I had all of you print out the trainer outline on this because it was so much to fill in. And in the interest of time, what's happening here?
There's just a question earlier.
Here's the excuse I'm hearing late. Okay, we'll have to tackle that part after. Okay. So, I wanted to be able to have, so that you could have all the information. So I printed out what we actually see as the trainers, and then Tricia's going to take it from here.
Okay, so, and my direction was to start at the bottom of 3.1.
Right.
So presumably you can go through your checklist, which is on the top of it. My name is Tricia. Hi, ladies. Let me back up a little, then I work it. So at the bottom it says planning a dinner party is similar to hostess coaching. Except hostess coaching can really be much simpler, I think. Either both of them take organization. And this is what I think. Begin at the beginning with the end in mind. I know that's like, we have so many catchy little things, but really, what do you want, right? We've talked about, do you want 3 home shows? Do you want to recruit? What do you really want? And then go for it. One of the things I think, as I'm listening, is I remember being here at the beginning and going, I can't say that, no way. And then pretty soon you just find that you say it and you don't even think twice about it. So if you are suffering from lack of confidence, because that's all it is, right? You just have to take a deep breath and make it happen. Because honestly, it is, Kathy always said, and I don't know where you got it from, you're offering people a soda, right? Sometimes you say, can I get you a Coke or a Diet Coke? And they go, no thank you. Right? And that's not anything personal. Because it's not your Diet Coke, you didn't make it, you didn't create it, right? And so I think that we tend to get emotionally caught up in the things we're offering. And so I chanted that to myself all the time. So do whatever you need to do to put the confidence in there. And just do it. Like, just go, okay, I can do it.
And it's a great product.
Oh,
You
it
believe
is.
in it, or you wouldn't have been. you
Diet
wouldn't be
Coke?
here.
Yeah.
I love Diet
Yes.
Coke.
It's the best. Okay.
Not Diet Coke?
So I just wanted, that was my little plug that's not on here, is begin at the beginning with end in mind. What is it you really want to do? And then do it. And you just have to make it happen. I know we were talking as trainers that now that we have a lot of new recruits coming in and they're joining us at home shows, it's making us really be disciplined about it. And guess what? We're really getting success.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to, have fun and get lazy and be a little intimidated. But really, if you just do what you're supposed to do, you will have all of the success. Not that you won't have frustrating times, but you will. So with that in mind, I'm on 3.2 now, and it says hostess coaching is a 3-step process. I think now, certainly, and I assume we'll have some sort of training like this at Fashion Week, but they're talking about it being a 3-step process, but it's really, they now break it down into 6 times. So it's 3 steps, but 6 times, right? And so the very first thing they say is provide a hostess packet and take materials out of the envelope. Well, what I'm going to tell you is when someone books a show at the show you're hosting, I never have time to take the materials out and go over it. And so I have a sticker, which you can get off of our website, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right on the outside of my hostess packet. And it says the time and the date when the show is, and it's got my contact information. And so when I pull my hostess packet out, if it's on the table, but sometimes it's not, I just write the date and time that we've agreed to, right? And then, of course, I get their contact information. But you want to call them then to go through the hostess packet. That's how I do it. Has anyone ever successfully done a go through a hostess packet? I remember when I first started, I
Yeah.
tried to do it.
I have just, I don't
I
think
have
a
never
lot.
basically
A lot.
even attempted to go through a hostess packet. That's why I put the sticker on there.
Mhm.
And I just said, you're going to find everything you need in here and we're going to talk.
Right.
Very
Well,
good.
so I did try a few times and it wasn't very pretty. So, but anytime you make a mistake, remember we're always telling women, and I just say, I'm new. Bear with me, I'm new. I used it for a year. And I said it right. I said it right after I would say something about me being an expert, right? Oh my gosh, isn't the jewelry great? You can do this 6 different ways. It's amazing. I don't know that answer. I'm new. It's perfectly acceptable. Okay, so you're going to give them a hostess packet. You're going to put the date and the time on it, however you want to do that, and then you're going to give them a call to go through the hostess packet with them. And that's in your second statement here. It says, set the expectation that you will be contacting the new hostess again and identify convenient times to reconnect. So you might try to do that while you're doing the hostess packet, though I'm, again, usually busier than that. So when I do call her, which would be my second time I've contacted her, I'm going to walk through the hostess packet. And they've got it broken down into like 2 weeks prior to the show. And I think, again, that would be great if your show is actually 4 weeks away, right? But the reality is sometimes our shows are 12 weeks away and sometimes they're 10 days away. So you have to make that work in your schedule. But after you've reviewed the hostess program, you're going to thank her, do all those kinds of things you need to do, which are on this list. Have you watched the video? Did we have that as homework?
Is to take CBT either
Okay.
before or.
Okay. Okay, so see I have all these really great highlights, but I see that I'm moving slower than I want to work. Okay, so 2 weeks prior to the show, so you've called at the beginning to go through the hostess packet and thank her. And then you're going to remind her to send out an invite. You're going to start saying that a lot through the whole because you want to sow that seed because it's an easy thing to forget to do. So at least 2 weeks before the show, but I would say, you know, any time in there, even before 2 weeks, you're going to suggest that she sends out her invite. And
And the reason that we would remind her to do that,
so that we have people at our show.
and also that the main reason your shows cancel is because they forgot to send out the invitations.
Right.
Their grandmother can only die once, but you will hear it over and over because they forgot to send out the invitation. So the reminder is really important.
And to that end, when you say, don't forget to send out your invitation, I have included postcards in the hostess packet. If you need more of those, let me know. And then also, if you want to send out an evite or a save the date, will you please include me on that so that I can just keep an eye on who we've got coming? If you don't get an evite in a couple of days, you know that you need to call her and tell her again. I mean, that's one of the reasons I always ask to be on the evite. There are lots of times that corporate will suggest to us that we try to get the email list or an actual handwritten list and send it out. If you can successfully do that, more power to you and go get it. Right? I've not ever really successfully done that. I did it once for someone who's now a consultant, and it was such a ghastly mess. But it wasn't an intentional. I was just new enough that I didn't know how to use Click, and they RSVP'd to somewhere that neither of us ever could figure out.
Did they come though?
It was for Sarah, actually.
Oh.
I know. Yeah, we had a really good party, actually. Okay, so, again, my tip to you is just ask them to include you in the evite so you know what's going on. And if you don't get an evite in a few days, call them. Suggest to your hostess to take catalog orders from those who cannot attend. Tell the hostess to ask a friend to book a show. Do you have a catalog handy? I saw you pull it out. One of the great things, I think, and it's always been there, but our hostess special right here is really an incredible tool, right? It's beautiful. It doesn't look like a tool, but it is. And it says right in here that in order to get it, you have to have a $350 show and 1 booking, right? So again, that takes you off the hook. So everyone that's new, you're not asking the hostess. It says that's what you've got to do. So I would say, you know, don't forget I want to get this bracelet for you. And what we need to do is make sure you have $350 in show, which will be no big deal, I promise. And the best thing to do is go ahead and get catalog orders. And then also, you want to make sure you get a booking. So if you have friends that can't come to the show, ask them to do a show, right? Because if she books a show before the show even starts, you've got 1 of your 2 or 3 shows done. Plus, it guarantees her that she gets this bracelet. I have now worked twice now that hostesses haven't gotten this bracelet, and I have been hardcore about it just because it's such a great bracelet. I know,
Wow, okay.
So, I mean, you can make that choice, but again, it doesn't benefit me to give them that bracelet. I've left shows open, and actually they've gotten... So anyway,
Well, I want to say, I think this is a really good point. I have been lax in my hostess coaching about that, and the afterward is harder than before. So you're already letting her know, this is a fabulous bracelet, and I want to get this for you. And these are the steps to get it. So if she were already collecting the orders, and then she's getting that booking, she's got that bracelet.
Right, and it
Yeah.
says it here. I mean, so the thing is, you just lean on corporate, right? They're the great guys, but they're the bad guys too. So I want to get you this bracelet. I want to get you this bracelet. But in order to do that, we need to make sure that you have 350 in sales and you get a booking.
And that's $104 value for $20.
Right, right. And I didn't wear mine tonight because I knew I was coming here and everyone else would have theirs on.
ring.
Right, I know. I was
I
saying,
know.
yes, it's our trip ring to Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Yes, yes.
So, do you ever direct people, like hostesses, to go to your website and order?
No.
Why? Like instead of doing or in addition to doing getting catalog orders, you know, they can look at the catalog on my website, or
I suppose you could do that. I don't use my website very much as a local tool, to be honest with you, because I would like to have that opportunity or the door open to me to communicate with whomever is buying jewelry from me. And if they go through my website, yes, I get their contact information, but it's still an anonymous sale, right?
Mhm.
And I never want that. So while I believe in Click, and I think having a website's an important part of business because, let's face it now, it's just part of business. For me, I really would rather the hostess collect a catalog order from me. And I don't care, I mean, like I provide in my hostess packet, there are order forms for the catalog order forms, but I don't care if it shows up to me on a scratchy piece of paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how
Yeah.
it comes, right? So I always tell the hostess,
do you
don't
just
sweat it.
do you just print off that sheet? It comes like with 2 order forms on it, right?
That's the
When you
new
print
one,
it off.
yeah.
Yep.
So do you just print that out and cut it and put it in there, or
Yep.
what do you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Sometimes I don't.
And that
I
was
don't
it.
even cut it.
I was gonna
It
say,
just
sometimes
seems
I
like
don't
kind of
even cut
hokey
it.
to me, and I just feel bad. I don't know.
And
Well-
it's great because it has the $2 shipping on it already. You don't
Okay.
have to put it, you don't have to write it in.
I
It's
just
already
feel
there.
like maybe it will intimidate some of the hostesses to like have to figure the tax and stuff.
And that's where I always say to them, listen, I've included this for you. It's really easy. If it feels hard, just make sure you get what they want and their contact information, and I'll call them and take care of it for you.
Okay.
So I take that out of their hands. Some hostesses are like, I got it. Like if you're talking to someone that's in finance or accountant, she's gonna really look at you funny if you say that to her, right? But you still say it, right?
Yeah.
But if you're talking to, us dumb lawyers, we're like, great, okay, I don't have to figure out tax. Good, okay, here you go.
But you'd be
So-
surprised. I'll show up at shows and the checks are attached and
absolutely,
it's
and they're
ready to
totally
go
right.
and it's
Yeah.
complete
Wow.
and
Right.
accurate.
Right.
So.
Doing
Let's face
fundraisers
it.
for school.
If
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you're 30, it's not your first, time at the dance.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do those orders that you take that you don't have an opportunity to meet those ladies, do you deliver?
If
The jewelry?
if it's around where I am, I do.
Okay.
I
And
really
that's important.
Right.
Right.
And I have a client that lives half a mile from me, and she loves to order from my website. And I call her and say, I'm putting an order in. And so now we're getting better about it. But she just is that whole midnight in her jammies with the glass
Yeah.
eye.
Yeah.
So I mean, sometimes you have it, but we have a relationship, so it's an okay thing.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah. So yeah, no. Does that answer your question, Patty?
Mhm.
Okay. Again, it's that confidence thing. I mean, you're a professional woman, right? We do things in our job all the time that we don't necessarily want to do because they make us uncomfortable. Well, there's nothing in Cookie Lee that is pushy or over the top. It's just not necessarily in our comfort zone, right?
Because we are assuming how somebody else would feel, and you don't want to do that because somebody might be thinking, oh, I just want the information. Just tell me what to do, I'll do it. So we just put it out there. If it's something difficult for somebody, then they'll let us know.
Okay.
Yeah, people are always going to tell you I shouldn't say always, but 9 times out of 10, you'll figure it out. You'll understand what
They'll say, do I have to collect money? No, really. Do you just email me? I'll get it all handled.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, I lean on corporate to make sure I get my 1 booking and my 350. Keep the snacks simple and in the same room as the jewelry. I say keep your snacks simple, and hostesses are going to do whatever they're going to do. Some are going to serve the filet mignon, and some are going to put lots of right? Everyone's going to do what they want to do. I always say keep your snacks simple, but most importantly, I always try to get in the same room as the food, because as we all know, wherever the food is wherever the action happens.
Well, I get hungry. I just want to be with the food.
Well, that too, but that's a different. That's why I'm always by the bar.
No, I get thirsty
because
too.
I get hungry too.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Okay. So again, my big thing on that is less about the food and more about just want to be next to where everyone else is. Because otherwise, what you'll do is, as you get more brazen, you will find yourself in Siberia, and you will find yourself hanging out in the kitchen selling. Okay. Call 1 to 3 days before the show. Okay, this is where I'm going to say, so we've made 3 contacts right now. So when it says 1 to 3 days before the show, I say this is that week prior to the show. And that's, again, where you're going to remind her if she hasn't sent out an invite, to send it out. And then also, this is her time to pick up the phone and call. This is your time to find out how many people are coming, what type of people are coming. Are they bracelet people, necklace people? I mean, as much rapport as you can create with your hostess, you're just going to be better able to serve her. Really, if you always come from a place of service, and I say that, listen, are your guests coming? Are they bracelet girls? Are they necklace girls? Are they earring girls? I mean, what do they like? Because I want to make sure I have everything for them in that regard. Part of what I'm doing is just establishing rapport, but part of it is true, right? I mean, I tend to have a fair amount of inventory. And if they really are bracelet people, I'm going to make sure I grab my bracelet box.
I like that.
Because it's a good service thing. Okay, so that's a week before. And then when she says call 1 to 3 days before, I am usually that 1 to 2 days, and I also send an email. And that's the time when you're going to confirm time of arrival, get confirmed directions. We always nav it. The only thing I always say is, can I find you on my GPS? Because sometimes you can't. But I do know that corporate always recommends that you go through the direction thing. Depends on where you live. The other thing that's a good thing to know is whether you need a table. And I think just asking if you need like when you say, do I need to bring a table? And they say no, ask what kind of table they have for you to set up on. You can make it happen anywhere. I mean, look at Kathy's little table right there, right? If you know that's the space you're going to get set up on, you're going to be totally prepared for it. If you think you're going to set up on this space and you show up to that space, you're going to make it happen, but it's not going to be a stress-free occurrence because you're going to be digging through your jewelry and trying to set it up. So if you say, do I need to bring a table? No, I've got plenty of table. Okay, what does that, is that a big 6-foot table? Is it a 4-foot table? Is it your coffee table? Doesn't matter, just make sure that your jewelry is appropriate for that. Again, you're going to suggest to the hostess that she call her friends or send the invite again. And then always, have her suggest that her guests bring a friend, and there will be a gift for her guests. Those little bobby pins, those little crystal bobby pins are great. They cost us next to nothing, and usually another guest is, more sales, right? So that's a great one. I always tell people also, hey, listen, if you tell me you're going to have 10, but people show up, great, I don't care. So we've just been through 5 of them, right? So our 6th one is at the show, and that's right before the show, and I'm about 2/3 of the way down. Where is that? Maybe it's on the next page. For a day, making invitation list. Sorry, I thought I was Outside orders, outside bookings, we talked about that. Oh. Okay, well, I lied, so let's just ignore that, go back to 3.2. Okay, so helping your hostess make an invitation list, we can back up a little bit, but again, the words yours, ours, team, we are big words, and so you want to use those words. We talked about that. Calling all of our guests the day before, we talked about that. Outside orders, we've talked about that. This is an interesting point though. Reward your hostess when she gets 6 outside orders. There's all sorts of great corporate terminology around that and things that you can do. Do you have one that's especially effective?
I don't even do that.
Okay.
I think
have-
it's so much to think about, but what do you do?
If I have one of those hostesses that's a gung-ho hostess, in my hostess
Okay.
packet I have that $700 show. I don't know who we even got it from. I
Wendy
meant to bring
Campbell,
it.
I think.
Yes. So it's on a pink piece of paper and it says how to have a $700 show before your show's even started. I think it's always in there. I've had 1 or 2 hostesses do it, but I think there are people that are incentive oriented, right? And sometimes they know they want $1,000 worth of jewelry and there's no way. So this is their opportunity to do it. So again, pick whatever you want. If she can bring 6 outside orders in, I mean, woohoo! Give her something, right? So this one says 6 outside orders. The one from Wendy is $750 in show, and there's all sorts of ways to do it that's very technical.
$700. Is it on the website, or did you save it and then perhaps you could email it to me?
I hope so.
Okay, I do too.
Yes, and if I teased you with it, I will say that it's a little bit technical, and there's something better out there that I will create if I cannot find it. How's that?
Okay,
Um,
you all heard it here.
Right. Well, and I will also tell you, I tend to be one of those people that I really do set up a bunch of hostess packets at the very beginning of every season. And when I mean a bunch, sometimes it's 30. And then I kind of don't think about it for the rest of the season.
Right.
So sometimes I'm not really quite sure what's in there because I did it months ago.
Well, yeah, and things change, season changes, the economy changes.
What I love now is that we have the same hostess incentive
Yes.
through the
Yes.
entire season.
Right.
So it's not like that monthly flyer and then take that flyer out and put a new
Right.
flyer in.
I know
So-
because I was always forever.
Right.
Yes, I know. Okay, so what's in my hostess packet? I did take a time to check at that. They tell you in this 30 to 40 invitation or reminder cards, 5 catalogs, and your business card. What I have in mine is 7 of the invitation cards. And no, I don't know why it's 7, but in my 2.5 years, that's what I've come to. For the last year, it's been 7. Sometimes 8. I don't know why.
I'm 10.
I started at 10. I think it broke down when people started handing me them back all the time.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well. Okay, 3 catalogs. Again, if it's going to be a huge party, I always hand her as many catalogs as she wants. But in my sealed bag, I do 3 because, again, if you're carrying at least 3 of these to every show, however you're carrying them gets pretty thick. I only do a business card, the hostess brochure with my contact information, and then depending on what I'm feeling like at the beginning of the season, there's other literature, including almost always I have something about the trip because, well, I love to travel and our trips are really sexy. So,
Are they?
they are. And
And we're
then,
all going together next year.
Yes!
okay, great incentive.
Kelly.
So like, last month we had, was it last month or the month before, we had a really great incentive for our new recruits, so that went in there. But mostly I don't put those things on there because mostly then I just have to take them out. Any questions about that?
That was your recruiting?
No, that's my
Or
hostess packet. And the other,
the new brochure, hostess brochure is online,
Yeah, it is.
Right.
The front page of it is the benefits. Right.
but and the packet, like how we used to have the,
right, that one.
this,
Uh-huh.
although,
Well, no,
yeah,
that's,
that,
yeah.
but now it's online, so
Mhm.
do you print it front to back?
I do.
Online? Thank you very much.
I should probably get a hostess packet.
The one thing I do try to get is them to do a hostess wish list, and again, some hostesses are willing to share that with me. I always will in an email at some point say, don't forget to tell me what you want to bring because I want to make sure I have it for you There's no commitment. You don't have to buy it. It doesn't have to go on your free jewelry list. But again, you want to know what your hostess wants, right? Sometimes I get the real answers and sometimes I don't. But
And it's also their incentive to get the show totals, so they get their wish list.
right. Has anyone in your, I mean, like usually my wish lists are so long that they don't successfully get it.
No, my girls are usually pretty.
Can pass this around.
So my packets actually look very much like Kathy's because hello, she's the one that trained me.
Okay. Where do you get these bags and where do you get these stickers?
So the bags are from my girlfriend's house, and you buy like 100 at a time. So you want more than one person to go in on the order.
That's
And
mygirlfriendshouse.com, not
Yeah.
Kathy's friend's house.
yeah,
Because I did ask her that. She kept saying my girlfriend's
I
house.
was
My girlfriend's
thinking,
house.
I'm
My
like,
husband was like,
you know what?
Kathy, can I buy from your girlfriend?
I did that to somebody in the beginning too, and it was a Mary Kay rep, and I said, "Where does your girlfriend live?" And she goes, "My girlfriend," and I said, and so then she goes, "Oh no, it's a website."
Well, that happened to us at convention, when we were sitting in the lobby drinking wine. Somebody went by and said that they went, "Have you been to my girlfriend's house?" And I'm like, I don't even know your girlfriend.
Trisha, do you ever do the
And the label is
tic-tac-toe?
posted on the team website.
No?
Uh-uh. I have seen it. I don't. I haven't.
Kathy, have you? Tic-tac-toe game?
In the beginning when it came out, but it just,
Do you use it, Rami?
Is it
Keep
too
it simple.
too time consuming?
I think so.
It's on the
What is
website.
it?
I have used it. It depends on your hostess and her personality, whether she likes that or not. And it is time consuming for the consultant, not so much for the hostess, because I'm the one that does all the work.
And what is it? What do you do?
It's tic-tac-toe, and each square has an incentive for them to accomplish.
Oh.
So, but I tell them, don't worry about it, just take a look at it, and if you get it, I'll tell you that you got it, and I'll tell you how many X's and O's you have, and at the end of your show, we'll go over it, and if you have some lines, that'd be great, but don't even stress about it, because
And
I'll do
that's
all the
on-
work for you.
That's on the Cookie Wee website?
Uh-huh.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
So questions about what I talked about? No. And everything is right there.
Oh, thank you.
So you've got it. Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
That is cute.
Thank you so much, Trisha.
It's actually.
All right, so I will
designed
tell
so
you
can
this,
choose
that,
the color that you want.
It is
So
my
different
10th year with Cookie League. Would I say it's my 11th year if I've been with them 10 years?
No, because you haven't been 10 yet. It's
Well, April 26th.
Right.
Okay, well, anyway.
Don't worry about that the next time. we're all
Semantics.
together.
I don't think anyone's going to call you on it.
Nobody's gonna call me on it. There is not one presentation that I do at a show that is exactly the same as another. Never. They are always different. And I will say that it depends on the crowd that's there. If there's some people that are just like, there's times I don't even do a presentation. But it probably doesn't help you when you don't do one. There's times when you want to get out of there. And I'm just being very, very honest. But for the most part, if you do a presentation, you are going to get more business. You are going to get more interest in bookings, more interest in recruiting. And so we just want to find different ways, fun ways to make this possible and get as most interest as we can. So there's a few things that we're going to go over. First of all, let me just say this is not all the jewelry that I take, but I do set it up basically the same way every time I go. I have trays and easels, and when I'm packing this up, I have a little piece of shelf liner that goes here so things don't move around, and this sort of gets inverted into that. And so I'm taking 2 cases really inside of 1 case when I do this. I have these on the website so that you can figure out how to purchase them. I think it's important to do white liners when you can because it shows the jewelry a little bit more. Cookie's suggestion is the cream tablecloth. When you do black, it just brings it all down just a little too dark, especially when you've got the dark trays. So think about those things. Whatever you have is fine, but if you're going to invest in something, then try and go the way that it's going to show the jewelry a little bit better. Halogen lights, really important. I take 3 lamps to every show. There's only 2 on here now, obviously. But these are gooseneck lamps that I get at Target. You can get them at IKEA. There's lots of different stores. They are not expensive. I think they're $7.95 each. The one thing that I did do is that they come with 25-watt bulbs, and I upgrade to 50. And then when they burn up, then fine, I put a new bulb in them. But 25 watt is a little too low. Okay, so you want to pick a time that about 1/3 of the way into the show, maybe half of the way into the show at the latest, that you're going to do your presentation. It's going to be scary at first, but you just sort of make your way into it. It took me 1.5 years to even do a presentation, so don't worry about it. And once you get going, then it will always be different, but if you're getting the information out in some form or another, then it's all a success. So what we're going to do here tonight is just, and I think I assigned different things to different trainers, but what I'm going to do for you is the presentation that I would be doing now. And this is based on Michelle Bardwell's training. Now, Kelly's been with me to a show, Gina's been with me to a show, Tricia has, I don't think Lisa ever has, but none of the presentations were ever the same, so don't worry about it. But this is what, pardon?
Can I go?
Oh, it's a $20 admission. And I require dinner and wine.
And she always has really big shows when you go along, so yes, please do go.
Okay, so what Michelle talked about on her recent webinar was that you want to cover some key points. First would be to introduce yourself. So I would say, hi, I'm Kathy Buter. I've been with Cookie Lee for about 10 years. I joined because, and she says this is very important, I joined because of these 4 people here, these 4 little people who aren't so little anymore. And I wanted to stay home with my kids. And I stayed because I found that I could really achieve something that was all on my own, and I could earn these perks like a trip, the Mercedes-Benz, and a good income. And that's kind of why I stayed, especially with these great friends that I have found along the way.
You don't
And
say
just-
that at your show.
I do too. I do too. I do talk about my friends.
She's
I do.
just talking about the friends because we're all here.
Oh, no, I talk about
I think
them.
you should use the line mostly fabulous team, it's much more effective.
Mostly fabulous
Mostly.
team. Mostly fabulous team. Michelle goes on to say, I have 3 opportunities to share with you tonight. I tried to train on this the other night, but something else got in the way. Number 1, the first opportunity is to purchase incredible jewelry at fabulous prices. The second opportunity is for you to book a show so that you could get everything you want for your half off. And the third opportunity, which is my most favorite, is for you to join Cookie Lee, the opportunity to join Cookie Lee and earn additional income, whether it be $100 a month or $10,000 a month. Did that grab you? Whether it be $100 a month or $10,000 a month. Okay, so those are the opportunities that I'm here to present with you tonight, and we're going to play a very fun game. Does anybody here like chocolate? You do?
I do.
Oh, just a few of you. That's odd. Okay. So this game is only going to take a couple of minutes. So don't get too comfortable. Don't roll your eyes or anything. It's just going to take a couple of minutes. And you are going to earn a piece of chocolate for every question you ask me about my business. Now, you can ask me any question you want, but you're not going to get chocolate unless it's about my business, okay? So who wants to start it off?
I do.
Yes.
Do you drive one of those Mercedes?
One of those dang Mercedes. That's a piece of chocolate. Yeah. Oh, you're not a very good catch. Yes, I do drive one of those Mercedes. And in fact, I was just trying to figure this out the other day. I think the program was released 6 years ago or 7 years ago, and I had already qualified once it was released. So I was one of the first Mercedes-Benz Achievers. Thank you. You can eat the chocolate, but just keep the wrapper because you might win a prize at the end.
Okay.
Who's got the next question? Yes.
How many people are on your team?
Oh, that's a very difficult question. Thank you. I have recruited in my career 187 women, and they've recruited women. So there are hundreds of women on my team, and with direct sales, it's always about people coming in, people sticking around, people having fun, and then more people coming in. Another question.
Have you actually been on one of those trips that you were talking
On
about?
one of those dang trips. Yes, I have been on one of those trips. In fact, I have been on every single trip since I joined Cookie League. And I don't say that to brag. I say that because I had no confidence in myself to earn a trip when I first joined. In fact, my upline, and that's the term that we use when you join Cookie League, the girl that recruited me, was talking to me for hours about earning this stupid trip, and I thought, there's no way I could earn this. And I joined midway through a year, and not only did I earn it for myself, but I earned it for my husband too. You have no excuse. Question?
You work full time?
Well, I work full-time at this, but only with part-time hours. Another question?
I like that.
What's your monthly quotas you have to meet?
Well, that's a very good question,
I like
thank
that
you. You actually, with Cookie League, do not have monthly quotas to stay active. We only have an annual quota, which is much different from other direct sales companies. You only have to purchase $300 a year in order to stay active. It does become a little bit different when you want to earn commissions, but it's all very doable.
How do you earn your Mercedes?
I work. You can actually earn the Mercedes by just going out and doing your shows, and people will join your team because they're so excited, just like all of you are. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Can I join?
Oh.
Can I join?
Let's try a third time and see if she can catch
I don't really care about catching chocolate. I just want to.
It's not in
What
your
do I
list
have
of
to
goals?
do to join?
Oh, meet me later.
We have the whole bag and give it to me.
Yeah. So then, at the end of the chocolate, oh wait, there's another question. A burning question?
No.
No.
Just comment.
Yes.
You hear her being silly and witty right now? And it's not just us. She's like this every time. It's not overly serious, right? It's fun. So
Right? Because you were there. Yes.
yeah, when you hear her saying these things, you're gonna find your own funny things that you say, but it is light.
Thank you for pointing that out
Yeah.
because it is a game and it's meant to be. If you're not going to show something fun about it, then why is anybody going to want to join? It really is a really good way to get. Really is a really good way. No, it's a great way for you to get out information without specifically standing there and giving a speech to people who don't want to listen. If they are asking the question, they really do have a question. Moreover, there are people that are not asking questions that are listening to the questions being asked. And they may not ask you that night for information, but now when you do the raffle, you've got their contact information.
And I think it's another way for them to kind of get to know you and
Right.
and like you because, this isn't what I expected it to be. I thought this was going to be a hard sell. They're like, later on they're saying, don't you do a presentation or anything? And it's like,
Yeah.
no,
Right.
you just buy jewelry.
I will say if you play the chocolate game, even though the questions are about the business, it is much easier for you to get a booking later because you just did your little comedic routine, you know?
You have to go
So,
wherever.
yeah, so now you're just like really comfortable with them and, oh, come on, let's do a show. And so that's just breaking down a lot of walls by doing this chocolate game, even though it's just questions about the business.
I
Okay.
found too that with Carmen, who's my newest recruit, we did the chocolate game with her group of friends, and what's only supposed to take like 2 minutes, it was like a half an hour. But I conveyed that to the girls, but they were all like, it was really interest. They were trying to figure out why was she doing this, and then she had some girls that were interested in the business.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we've concluded the game. You only take a couple of minutes for it. When you hear the questions start to die down, then you want to end the game. But you don't want it to go on too long either. There might be a lot of questions, but then your show's going to go on too long. So just take a few minutes, and then we're going to say, so who's got the most wrappers? It's going to be you, Lisa, because I'm really good at math, and I know that you asked the questions. Okay, so for Lisa, and I forgot to bring this out, but I will present her with a hostess packet now that has a little piece of free jewelry in it. You can go online to Cookies Outlet and get jewelry for $2 and $3, and that's a great little piece to put in there. So I will say, I'm just going to reach across the table, but the best gift I have to offer you tonight is the opportunity to join Cookie Lee, but also there's a little piece of jewelry in there for you. And I want to just chat with you later about it. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I would say after that to follow this up with some jewelry tips. There is no better way to upsell, that's okay, than to show people how to use the jewelry, how to layer with the jewelry. One thing I always say, and it is true, I'm not lying, is layering is still in, it will be in for a long time. Obviously, there are outfits you're going to wear that you are just wearing one piece, but for the most part, if you want to dress up that t-shirt or anything else, you're going to wear 2 pieces. So I'm going to show people some key jewelry tips on the diversification of our jewelry, and I'll just pick a few, and I'll just say, well, this one you can loop through, and this one I'm not going to take all the time to do this, and this one you can do this. What I try and do is reserve those pieces that I want to show till later. So I let people shop, put things in their basket, and if this is one that I wanted to show later, it's probably not going to be on display. And I do that because it works. I do that because they will shop for what's there. People will always buy what you have. But now I would like you to buy more. So I'm going to bring out something else, something new, and I'm going to show them how to wear this 6 ways, 7 ways, whatever it is. And then somebody will say, oh, I like that. They've already formed an attachment to basically what's in their basket. So this is just going to be in addition to that. So if you have the inventory to do that, and there are a couple pieces you can hold back, then hold them back and wait until you are doing your presentation.
What's your holdback these days?
I usually do something with a clasp where I can make different lengths. So it will be this one, it will be
Madison.
the Insiders Club one with the circles where I could do, or the one for the belt, that you. So anything that I can do more than one way. Love the ones where you can go from necklace to belt. That always increases your sales. People can really see the value when you can go from necklace to belt. And then this one as well. If I have this in my inventory, I will hold this one back. And then I will talk to people like, do you remember Torsade? What's this? What am I doing here? And they'll say, you're old, lady. Okay, so I will do the jewelry tips just after the chocolate game, or hopefully long time before I've given them a drawing slip. You're going to tell on a show if you can do all these things or some of these things. You're just going to be able to tell eventually. But you want to try and get their information. If you don't get their information on a drawing slip, then you'll get it when they check out. And Trisha's going to do checkout for us in a little bit, right? But if you are going to be doing a drawing, collect the slips, do the jewelry tips, then do the drawing. What is the reason for that? The minute the surprise is over and somebody has won something, nobody pays attention anymore. So the drawing could be your attraction to gather everybody together, but if it is, you don't do it till the very end. And we're going to do the drawing in just a minute. But first, a commercial break. But first, I'm going to show you these jewelry tips. But first, we're going to have our hostess come up and model. But first, I asked our hostess to pull out different outfits, and we're going to show how we can mix different jewelry. There's all kinds of things that you can do. Just make sure that at the end is when you do the actual raffle. So now you have these drawing sheets, and that's got their information to follow up on. Never trust what's on a drawing sheet. In fact, don't look at it until you get home. That's my advice. And the reason for that is if somebody put on there, I'm not interested in a show, I'm not interested in fundraise or anything like that, it will come across when you ask them, would you like to book a show? You already have this in your head. So I look at them when I get home. I don't want anything to sway me on what I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask everybody, would you like to book a show? You look like so much fun. I know there's so much that you wanted to get here tonight. Okay, so I will look at those slips when I get home. If I did not do a drawing that night and I do not have those slips, you've got to find a way to collect their contact information. And Trisha's going to go through the full service checkout on that. I would say other than that, you've got a setup, you need to know your product. And I'm not saying you know every single thing about it, like the metals and everything like that, but know what it can do. Get a subscription to a fashion magazine. Watch what people are wearing when you watch the Golden Globes and the Academy Awards and see what the trends are in Nordstrom, right? Just walk around, see what everybody's wearing, and you'll be able to direct people. The best thing that I can say to anybody is, oh my gosh, this is true. You get a set of 6 of these at Nordstrom for $98. We have 10 for $38. Okay, so
And
if
you
you have,
can separate them and give
you
them
could
to
separate
four
them and give them
friends.
out as gifts. You know, you got at least 5 gifts here, right? Two to a person. So if you know little tips about that, you're going to upsell. You're going to have better sales at your show. When I am done with my presentation, I will just basically end it by saying, I'm here for any questions. I want you to just shop. Remember, you can take everything home that you see here tonight. I don't want any fights, but if there is, we'll all watch. And that you get your highest price item at half off just for having a home show like Rami has done here tonight. And I want to thank her so much for having us all in here tonight. Okay, so it's never going to be in the same order, but you're just getting the key points across. Okay? And now we're on to Trisha. Right? Did we go right back to Trisha?
Lisa follows with some jewelry tips and raffles, but you just did that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lisa.
That's quite all right.
Why don't you actually do the jewelry tips then?
Sorry.
you're
Actually,
really
that's
good
been
at-
crossed off and she's not doing it.
Okay.
Is that, you don't want to do it?
No, we don't need to.
Okay,
You do
we
it.
don't need to. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, here, I'll do a jewelry trick.
Okay.
This is a necklace that can be worn. How much is this?
Pretend. It's $36.
$36.
38.
And you can wear it long. Or you can wear it short. When you see this little T, Cookie makes it so you can wear it 2 different ways. So actually, this necklace is $19 a wear.
Kelly actually wears that one 3 ways.
Who does?
Kelly,
What's the third way?
Kelly, why don't you show
She
them
has
the
a
third
teeny
way?
tiny little neck.
Like me out.
Show.
Kelly has the
Show.
third way.
I don't have
She
it,
wrapped
but,
around your
Here.
wrist.
Here.
No, we all share.
Well, I didn't know if it was allowed.
Of course it's allowed.
I want to see what it is.
Yes, I didn't like, well, I like both, but for me, I like it sort of halfway. So I just tied it in a knot,
Uh-huh.
and then big enough to slip over my head still. So, it's just
Cute.
so it, and this just hangs in the back, and I wear it like that.
Of course it's allowed. Thank you very much. What a smart girl.
Very cool.
Probably do with any of them, really.
Yeah, you can, but I've never thought of that.
Yeah.
On
That's
the top,
awesome.
I have not either.
Nice.
I wrap my
That's awesome.
toggle around
Well, 'cause it
sometimes
flops
too if
around
it's not
so
short
much.
enough.
Yes.
And that'll make it
So,
shorter too. Very good.
I know, I sold this right away, so I don't know, but yes.
Looks really cute.
Looks
Super
cute.
cute.
Very good.
That Insider's Club was.
Well, I'm
really
sorry
popular.
for stealing your thunder on that. I just kept going.
Oh.
Okay.
I just like you were not.
So, and so now, Trisha.
And what I forgot what I was supposed to do with hostess coaching. Oh, with hostess, talking to hostess, nothing, right? Just remind them. to be talking to
You were going to do your way.
Oh, right. See, that's, I knew there was something.
Yes.
There's
Remind them to watch the video.
The Trisha way.
Here's what you're showing.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so again, the videos and the training are great, and what it recommends, I'm doing right now. What I am doing is I'm doing upselling and full service checkout. We've talked about upselling. Here's what I'm going to say about upselling. Don't forget, if someone comes to you, I do it even before they check out. But if someone says, "Oh my gosh, I love this necklace. I just can't live without it," I say, "Isn't it great?" "Yeah." "Oh, I see you have pierced earrings. Do you know these earrings match?" And I find that I wear these earrings all the time because they're the perfect size. So I do that even before I check out. But if for some reason someone gets to your checkout prior to you having that conversation with them, as you're doing the checkout, you're taking and you're counting their 10 pieces in their basket. You're going to say to them, "Oh, I see you've got the necklace. Do you want the matching earrings? Or can I get you a coordinating bracelet?" you want to ask those things. Again, it just goes to that confidence thing. So I always try to add the earrings or the matching bracelet or the coordinating pieces. I also always remind them during the show, it's always gift season, right? Right now, gift season is brides, Mother's Day, graduation. Sometimes it's Easter, it's Valentine's, it's Christmas, it's back to school, whatever. There's always some. So that's part of my gift is I also always recommend, don't forget your friends, family, loved ones. It's graduation time, it's Mother's Day. And your best girlfriends always love a Mother's Day gift. It's true. Wouldn't you love one?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Totally, huh? Okay. So, on a full service checkout, corporate suggests, and it's fabulous, but it's going to be space permitting, right? So, what corporate suggests is at the end of your table or somewhere close by, you have 3 stacks, which I'll explain to you in a moment. But the reason I'm showing this to you is quite obviously that's not going to work in any way, shape, or form. So, ideally, you would have 3 stacks at the end of your table or close to wherever you're checking out so that they could see. So that every time you offered them an opportunity, you actually touched it. I have found that I rarely have this space, mostly because, gosh forbid, I don't jam my table with as much jewelry as possible, which is not necessarily the good way. It just happens to be my way. I am always a Libra, and I'm always concerned that I might not have exactly what they want. Kathy's always sure they're going to buy everything that's on her table, right? I'm always like, but what if they say? And then I go, oh, wait a minute. So, all right. So, full service checkout. That means you're going to have recruiting packets, hostess packets, and then your party in a bag and your preferred customer list or your mailing list. So, it's really 4 stacks, which really means I never have space for it. So, what I do instead is I have 2 of your little, I meant to bring mine, but the stand-up case that we have, the hard-sided one.
Stand-up case.
Black, hard-sided. We bought it at Fashion Week last year.
The new one.
It's like
Remember
leather.
the one
We
that
got
opens
it.
up?
No,
No, not that one.
we got it in the same
Charades?
hotel room as our Lucy bags.
Not your girlfriend's house.
Yes,
my girlfriend's
yes.
So this is the tool I use. You can use anything. I used to carry a soft-sided, but then gosh, I could spend more money on this, so then I bought this.
And it was a write-off.
right too.
On an upsell note, I was reading our connection today.
Oh, good. See, I was asking if we'd gotten it yet.
Okay, so I was reading the connection today, and there were several tips about upselling, and it said what they do was a couple of people offer so they're not inundated with bracelets.
Right.
They'll offer the bracelet at half price, but they won't have it on their table. They'll say, "Oh, I see you have the bracelet and the
Necklace and earrings.
right, so I'll give you the bracelet at half off," because they don't want to go over their budget. So they'll say, "I'll give you the bracelet at half off if you want the set."
Right.
Only if they get the set, it said.
Right.
But it's on the,
Yes.
because they have 3 different sets of the recruiting, the selling, and then the whatever other one we do.
Booking.
Wow,
Yeah, that
I
thing.
see you use yours a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
It's my
We're
car
talking about tonight,
briefcase.
Right.
Yeah, those things.
So that's my new customer special since I never could remember my customer special, so I ditched the corporate customer special a long time ago, but that's what I say is, if you spend $50 today, you can pick any item off the table for 50% off. I used to do things like keep your earrings, but same idea. And other than that, I don't have a sale basket and I don't offer specials, right? That's your customer special, because our jewelry, we're like Costco. Our jewelry's inexpensive and high quality and amazing. So there is no reason for it to be on sale, ever.
So you don't, do
Under
either of you-
$47, hello.
Why would somebody book a show if you're already going to give them a discount?
Do you offer do you ask the hostess to pick that half-price item out of the catalog? You don't?
I don't. I just say, you spend $50, and I used to say of equal or lesser, but now I just say, if you spend $50, you can get anything on the table for 50% off. So if you spend $50 on, I don't care, 3 pairs of earrings, you can have our $47 necklace for half off. I don't really care. Mostly because it's too much for my small brain. I mean, really, honestly.
And see, I don't even do a customer special.
You don't?
I don't do it. Only because I forget.
I will say I've borne witness to that, and
So
again,
the
Me
hostess
forgetting?
reads the,
Right.
catalog.
I will tell you, if she reads it, then I'll go, Yeah! That's right! Go ahead! Pick something! Oh, you're better than me! You should sign here.
I keep that little card in my tray now, and I don't even put it out. I just tuck it right here, but then it's visually a cue for me. That's how I remember to do it.
Oh, good.
Okay, so I have this handy little thing. Again, it can be soft-sided. It doesn't need to be this. In fact, this is quite heavy on its own. So I just was tired of my things getting tattered. And in here, they have these little hanging files. And mine say things like master for catalogs, hostess, party in a bag, recruiting. Then my shopping bags and my catalogs are also in here. So I've got it jam-packed and you can't get anything out, right? It's true.
For you?
You're all
Look at my
sweaty.
checkout
Get it
basket.
out.
Yeah, I didn't say it was graceful. Okay, so, I'm sorry, what's your name?
Teresa.
Teresa, hi, I'm Trisha. So presumably we've already met. So Teresa brings her things up and she's ready to check out. And I'm going to say, Teresa, it's been so great meeting you tonight. I'd like to offer you the opportunity of joining Cookie Lee. I know you were part of the chocolate game. I'm just going to say whatever it is, right?
You're doing really good. I know you didn't have to do that.
And then Teresa's going to say, I don't care what you say, just say something. Yes or no?
Sure.
Sure. Okay, so then I'm going to hand her this, right? Great. And I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to say, well, that's our recruiting packet. There's information about joining Cookie Lee. It's an incredible opportunity. You heard me wax poetic about it earlier. I would love to take you to a cup of coffee or a cocktail and talk to you a little more about it. I have a sticker right here, and if we meet for coffee or cocktail, I will bring you a free piece of jewelry. What time would you like to do that?
Okay. Tomorrow.
Great. Okay, and sometimes they're going to say tomorrow, and then it's not going to happen. Or sometimes they'll say, It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. But you've just done that.
Mm-hmm.
So Teresa actually has told me no, really. So then I pull the next thing out. So I do the same sort of thing. You don't see my stacks, but you see me pulling them out. And I go, okay, well, so I know, again, that you've asked me some great questions about the business, but we have a great opportunity for you to also be a hostess and earn, on average, about $250 in jewelry incentives if you want to host a show. Are you interested in possibly hosting a show?
Possibly, I would like to do that.
Okay, would you like to take a packet and pick a date tonight?
Oh, how about if I take the packet?
And this is where I say this, great, if you take the packet, but also I can offer you these bracelets that are in your basket that are $34 for half of that, which would be 17. Yes, and then that's when I make that joke about that I'm a lawyer and I don't do math. There's a reason I went to law school.
Except when you're billing.
Yes, but that's all on the computer. And I also, will say it's 10 o'clock and I've had 2 glasses of wine. So, I'm not going to do math, but you get this at 50% off if we pick a date tonight. You don't have to hold the date, but otherwise we can just add that. If you decide to have a show, I'll give you an extra 50% off.
Okay.
Okay, yes, we'll do a
Yes,
show.
we'll do a show.
Okay.
Teresa, you're easy.
Yes, she can say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right. So she says no, and then you say party in the bag, right? And I actually have stopped doing this one. Do you want me to tell them? I do show on the go. I say, I hear your hesitation. And she's going to tell me why she's hesitating, right? I'm really busy, or I'm going to say, oh my God, we have this great thing. Show on the go. It's awesome. Here's my box of jewelry. You take 3 of your best girlfriends, 3 to 5 of your best girlfriends, and I don't want any more than that. To Starbucks for a coffee or buy them their first round at the happy hour, and the hostess benefits are the same. Do you have some interest in maybe doing a show on the go? I know you were hesitating about doing an actual full-blown show.
Okay.
Okay.
What else do you
Teresa, I'm a little scared right now. I think you should just buy. Would you like to buy the whole table? I can wrap
That'll work.
it up. Okay.
Hasn't said no to anything.
No, I know. I have 2 small boys and a husband. I love them dearly, but I'll give them to you on a daily basis.
Half price.
Half price. I'm free. I'll pay you. Okay, so you've heard me, and then my final one, of course, because Teresa hasn't given me your contact information, even though she keeps saying yes, is I have my little clipboard that looks like that little clipboard that is to be on my mailing list. So I say, hey, would you like to be on my preferred mailing list? And I know you're supposed to ask for everything. My most important thing is your name and your email address, because that's really my main mode of communication, though I would love your phone number. I don't bother saying that to you. I just say, here it is. I promise I won't bother you a whole lot. I send out maybe one email a month.
A whole lot.
That's what I said. And it's true. You can ask any of my preferred customers. They get 10 emails a year from me.
What's on here?
It's just a form that says name, email, phone, and I think it has physical address, and then things they might be in. It might say, I can't remember what it says right now.
Is it one form per person?
No. It's like, is it,
It's
I
like a
sent it to you.
sign-in sheet.
It's
kind of-
pink. It's pink writing, pink cursive, pretty. And there's 1, 2, 3. There's like four to a page.
Can you put that on the website?
Yeah.
If she sent it to me.
Trisha, can you get on it?
You do that with every person.
Look at her.
Well, as soon as you say yes to something, I stop. I was standing in front of Ralph's the other day on Sunday with my boys. They're both Cub Scouts, and they were selling $10 gift coupon books, and you could redeem it for $10 off inside. So it was a trade. You give Cub Scouts $10, Ralph's will give you $10 off your groceries. It was awesome, right? So my kids, they would do that, and then they would go, and look, you can go whale watching, and you can go, and finally some lady said, when someone says yes, just stop talking. And I was like, ooh, I so want you on my team. But so I would have just stopped, right? I don't care. She said yes to something. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But she did. She kept going.
You just keep asking.
Right. I mean,
that took how long with each person, and you have.
Well, I've sent you off to drink, so in theory you aren't all like you're not standing here like. And if you
It
are,
doesn't take long at all.
yeah, because I expounded, but I might say, oh well, you're. I could probably do that in 2 minutes. You might not understand anything I say, but I could do it in 2 minutes. Okay, so that's my full service checkout. Do you want me to add anything to that?
No. If I could just add that, since I'm an old dog, when they brought out the list, I was still set in my ways, and I just collect information on the receipt. So that is another way to do that.
And I also do that.
Yeah.
I always get a phone number. That's why I don't really care if it's on the mailing list thing, because I'm going to get one right here.
Mm-hmm.
And my line is, because I was a chicken, if you don't mind, what's your phone number in case I need to speak to you? In case I need to get in touch with you.
Mm-hmm.
In case, what does that mean? It means in case I call you in 48 hours.
Well, they just gave you a form of payment too, so that is
Right.
not a strange question,
No. Yes, and then if I'm not too rushed, I will say, is this your cell? Like, can I leave you a message on this? Right? Because you don't want anyone divorced over a $30 piece of jewelry. So yes, I do that here.
But you know a good attorney if they.
I do know a good family law attorney. I can introduce you to her, and it's not me. All right.
You
So-
can drop that number like right here.
Kathy knows her too.
I do. Oh yeah, I do know her. No, she's a client.
I went to high school with her. My very first show with Kathy, I show up, and it's like her mom and her mom's best friends, and I'm like, oh, I know these people in all of San Diego.
Funny.
Super funny.
Wow. Out of all the people in San Diego.
And we're a huge, huge city now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know. There's 4 million people. My very
That's
first show in
crazy.
Cookie Lee, and it was that family.
That's crazy.
I know. It's the richer. I'm richer for Cookie Lee. That's been my new long short sentence. I'm richer for it.
Yes, sirree.
Okay.
I've met 2 former high school friends here.
Oh, that's
Kathy.
crazy.
You know what? I did too when I first started. You're right. And you're like, whoa.
Wow.
I know.
That's so neat.
It's
though.
Kathy. It's all Kathy.
I know.
Okay, so I'm on TV. So let's keep
Yes.
forward. Okay, so
Looking good, baby.
now we're gonna regress. I'm like. Okay, now we're gonna regress and we're gonna pretend like we haven't just checked Teresa out. Looking good. All right. So what I have found is that the chocolate game doesn't, for me, always feel right. Doesn't mean that it's not right. It probably is right. It just means that sometimes I'm a little bit chicken. Especially when those women all show up in black and they're very sophisticated and they're giving me the I don't play baby shower games. Okay, don't play them. I'm going to stack the hostess instead. So I have found for me, I really like this tool. And it has actually led to my latest recruit. So it can work much the same way, I think. And what I say is, ladies, if I can have a few minutes of your time, and this is during the part where, so you insert everything Kathy said when she was standing up here doing your home show, and then I say, again, I want to thank the hostess, Rami. Thank you so much. And this is Rami's bracelet. It's our $104 value bracelet. She gets it for $20 tonight because she had us all in her home, and she booked a show because I'm showing those seeds. So then I give it to her. And then I say, hey, Rami, can you come up here for a second? I just want to demonstrate something. You can pick anyone. I might pick Teresa, but she'd never stop. And I say, in the middle of your catalog, and that's one of those tips I got at one of these things, because I used to go, it's on page. And Vicki helped me and said, just tell them it's in the middle of your catalog. So in the middle of your catalog is the hostess benefits. And it's also right here, as you can see. But mine's in a smaller frame, but same thing. And I just wanted to share with you really quickly that, and you see this on corporate website in a much more formal manner.
Now stay
Come
there.
here.
She needs you.
I do need you. I'm just flipping in and
I
out
thought
of
you were
character.
exampling
Come
me.
here. Come here. Okay, so, Rami, let's just pretend, here it is, right here. So here is the hostess bracelet. Thank you so much. Like I said, it's $104 value, it's $20.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to tell you is that most of the time, my hostesses, on average, earn $250 in jewelry incentives. And that sounds really nebulous, right? Let me show you, if you've got 2 minutes, let me show you what that is. So we know that we've just handed her a $104 bracelet. She's going to pay $20 for it. So Rami spent $20, right? Okay, so now Rami likes these bracelets too, and they're $34, and she gets them at 50% off. In fact, she gets 5 items at 50% off. Plus, because she booked a show, she got 6. So she's got 1 item, 2 items, and that one's 28, so we're at about 30 that she spent so far, and she's got 3 bracelets on. Then we're going to slide these on, and these are 38, so that's another 20 she spent. So how much are we at now?
50
bucks, and she's got 1, 2, 3, 4 bracelets on, and she's picked 3 50% off items. Now let's give her an elephant ring. They're for good luck. You know, elephants, I love them. 22, that's $11.
So,
So
we're
now
about
we're at 60. And is that 4 items or 5 items? God bless you.
Thank you.
2,
5.
5.
Okay, so here's her 6th because she shopped well. It's $38, so it's $19. And so we're at about 70 bucks, right?
About 80.
80.
Mhm.
All right, so we've got a long way to go, right? Well, now is the fun part. She gets to pick $75 of free jewelry off the table. So let's go shopping. And then I hand you this. 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 And I say, see, ladies, this is what you can get if you want to be a hostess. We're really generous to our hostesses. Thank you, Rami.
Thank
And
you.
we'll do our actual shopping later,
I'm
okay?
excited.
And that's what I tell her. We'll do our actual shopping later.
That's
That's good.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, and I
is
love
really
the one that
good.
they do in corporate, and I kept trying to do it, and it was just always more stuff on my small table. So this is the way I do it now.
So
Awesome.
you just really go into the $200.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can pick any number you want.
don't necessarily have to wait for her total sales.
Oh no, I am just showing. And that's why I said we'll actually shop later. And if there's someone that's showing interest, like my newest recruit, I stacked her. And it was just because she was sort of thinking about doing a show, and I said, okay, well, let me show you what you can get. So, I mean, if you're in a small enough group where that happens, like this to me is a great show, but it's pretty big, so I haven't had the same one-on-one that I would like to have with you probably. So it's probably really easy for me to shower a little love on Rami and say thank you. Excuse me. You missed that one.
That was great.
Very good.
So
Very good.
fast and furious,
Glad that
right?
was recorded.
And approximate, because I'm no math wizard. But everyone got the
I like
idea.
that, and people can interact with you too, and they
Mhm.
help you, because I do the same thing. I'm like, okay, I can't count, so I need somebody to be my
Those
calculator.
big calculators.
Yeah.
Well, no,
There's
and also that is
somebody
because
out
then you're
there
paying
that will do
attention.
that.
Because if I
Yeah.
say, what was that? How much was that?
Yeah,
Someone's paying attention.
Mhm.
and then sometimes you can pick that person that loves the jewelry rather than your hostess.
It's okay. Don't worry.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so questions about
And
anything?
that was instead of the.
Yeah, is there
Yeah.
particular way you offer the packets?
The corporate recommends that we start with what we want most, which is new recruits, right? And then you go to a home show, hostess packet. So recruiting, it's in your write-up, but recruiting, hostess, I don't do a catalog show. If someone asks me, I have catalog show packets. But I would much rather tell you about the show in a box or party on the go, because I think that's, for me, a more powerful tool. If I can gab you
I
up,
agree.
I'm going to gab you up.
Yeah.
And then my fourth is, it's kind of my pity one, right? Like, take pity on me and just be on my mailing list.
I will say that the one thing that she said when she talked about the show on the go, when she said 3 or 4 people, and I don't want any more than that, that is reverse psychology. I mean, that is just that, and then that's telling that person, oh, I can do that. Melinda used to say, you can make phone calls and say, all right, I need to book 5 big shows and 5 small shows. Can I count on you for one of the small shows? Oh, well, if those are the options, then somebody's going to say yes. If it's not the option to have a show or not to have a show, but I need to book 5 large shows and 5 small shows, could I count on you on one of the small shows? Then that's the choice that you'll make. Not, I won't do any show, because that was not put out there for you. I'm sorry, that is not in the multiple choice. So you picked the wrong answer.
I meet them to do the show on the go. At Starbucks or their favorite place to have coffee.
Okay.
Actually, in that case, I prefer Starbucks over wine, because at wine, they just start chatting.
Yeah.
And
All right, so we are going to move on to follow-up, which is, we are close to our last section here. Lisa's going to do follow-up,
Really?
which is CBT number 5. Consultant Basics Training number 5. You touched a little bit on follow-up already, Lisa. And so I'm going to ask you to review this rather quickly.
I wanted just to real quickly show my follow-up system. One of my follow-up systems, my husband made me a little treasure box.
Oh.
And
Oh.
these are the what do you call these things?
Lead sheets.
Yeah.
Lead sheets.
Mhm.
So you got these in your kit.
I always cut off the bottom of them. Where it
That's the
says,
attorney in her.
Would you like to be contacted?
Oh,
I
I
don't-
just
I cut that
disregard.
Yeah, I cut it off.
I know. But anyway, one of the things that I do on these is I write on the back a connection, so that when I call that person, I told you how I tell them a little bit about me if I'm leaving them a message. I write cute. You probably don't want to see exactly what I write, but there's something that will trigger my memory about these people. And this is something more than I'm writing in my book, something more than, like, I can take my little box with me in my car. So this is something that I use, and I'd suggest that you set up some connection with that person, that they like you because you remembered, oh, somebody's daughter got married, or they had a baby, or whatever it is, that you have that connection. And I don't have my my page. Do you have it?
This
By
will
chance?
follow up.
Yeah. My all my stuff went flying forward.
We're almost
My
finished.
Follow up.
Where it says follow-up is the Grand Canyon in our business. That's what you would fill in there as Grand Canyon. Do you have it now?
Let's see.
I think it's down here.
Okay.
5.
So 5-1.
Mhm.
I have that one.
Follow-up is the Grand Canyon in our business.
Uh-huh.
So do you have something to fill in?
Grand
Grand
Canyon.
Canyon?
Grand Canyon.
I don't have that one either.
Grand Canyon, that's that
Canyon.
whole bunch of rocks.
It's a great chasm.
Follow-up to every business interaction you have will build a, do you have that filled
Will
in?
build a great customer
Yes.
service reputation.
Mm-hmm.
Customers will return again and again to business people who deliver what they promised and who call to see if they are pleased with their purchase. Belinda Ellsworth is a
She has that next.
motivational speaker that has done some training. And one of the things that she said was that she went to what's the, was it Party?
Party Light?
Not
I don't
Party
know.
Light.
I only have seen her speak once.
It's the pitcher. So she talked about
Pampered
this
Chef.
Pampered Chef, this pitcher
Oh,
that
that's right.
she loved. And she bought the small one. And the next day she thought to herself, I really wish I had got the big one. But she never made that phone call back to the consultant. Had that consultant called her for that bigger pitcher, of course she would have ordered it. So why aren't you going to call your customer and say, how do you like that necklace? How about the earrings? Did you want to get those earrings for half price? That's where you're developing that relationship. So be sure and make that follow-up call. And here's an example, calling a first-time customer to see how she's enjoying her jewelry. Good customer service. She'll be surprised. Nobody calls you to ask you how you like, even Nordstrom. They don't call you and say, how do you like those jeans you bought? Even though they have the best service in the store, you should be a Nordstrom in your follow-up. So call those people. They will be surprised. You'll be amazed at, you're calling me to ask me how I liked my purchase. The 48-hour difference. We touched on that a little bit, didn't we?
You did.
So that's just making that 48-hour follow-up call. If you don't make it within that 48 hours, you might lose that excitement. So make sure you make that phone call. Pick up that heavy call, that heavy telephone. So 5-2, is that where we are?
Mm-hmm.
5-2 and 5-3.
So most consultants say that the end of their home show is when you're going to say goodbye to them. I had a text message from a hostess that I had my second show with. She called, I called her probably 6 months after her first show just to check in, see how she was doing. I talked to her a few times and she says, I wondered what happened to you. So all of a sudden I was her friend. And it's kind of interesting how you really develop relationships in this business. You think you're just the jewelry lady, but you're not. You are really developing relationships. So that's your hostess. So I like to do a written follow-up. When Tricia was talking about some of the hostess coaching, they suggest a lot of times in a lot of the trainings that we do, sending something in writing to them, a postcard. I have this really cute little postcard that Victoria, I need to stop with the ums. Pinch me every time I say will you? This little postcard right here
Super.
that I'm working on sending to people. You can all get in on it because Victoria designs this. She's one of our team members. Oh, great. What?
You said another.
Oh, I did. Shoot. Okay. I'm going to have a bruise right here. Okay, do that. No shows. That's a really important person to try and connect with, because that person that didn't attend the show, you can offer that special, customer special, if you offer customer specials. If you don't, then you're not going to offer that special. But you can suggest to your hostess that you contact her friend that wasn't able to come to see if they might be interested in a show or some jewelry or getting together one-on-one. That's another opportunity for you. I said not referral programs. You give your free.
It's just a way of your brain processing. So when it gets late at night, you're gonna have more of them.
Is that
So
it?
just let it go. Yes, it's
Yeah.
your brain connecting thoughts together.
Okay, thanks a lot. if you get a referral from your hostess, that means you get a booking from your hostess. That person maybe didn't attend the show. She gets a $25 credit from that show that you would book. Outside orders. Apply the 4-point call here.
Which can be homework.
Okay, so that's your
Just,
homework.
yeah, just touch some points on this and then we'll just move through.
Potential recruits. I think the important thing is that you not prejudge anybody. The other thing that I read or heard on a webinar was getting, after your home show, call somebody, call your upline, call your accountability partner, talk about your show on the way home, if you're hands-free, of course. And tell them what you did. Yeah. Tell them what you did at your show, maybe what you could have done a little differently, how you're gonna do your follow-up afterwards. I think that was really something that was important because you can go over that with somebody, not just in your own head on the way home. And this says no emails. Remember, no emails. Personal phone calls and handwritten notes have become a lock star in sales. Make your customer service memorable, and your customers will send their friends and family to you. Follow-up phone calls are not long. They can be done in 3 to 10 minutes.
So we're not going to review these scenarios. Everybody can see that and they can look at those at home. Any additional comments you wanted to add to any of that, Lisa?
Mm-mm.
Okay, then we're going to move on to the last thing, which Tricia was going to recap the Belinda Ellsworth bookings and customer care, which is just a little bit more in depth on what Lisa just did. So I hand it over to Tricia.
Right, and I will be no more than 6 minutes.
Okay.
Go. Bookings. Why does someone book a show? It's totally for fun. Think about it. I mean, part of the reason we all come to our meetings once a month is for fun. Kathy, that's one of the best things. She's so fun. So fun. And I think we often lead with free product. I know when I first started, I thought that's what it was all about the free product, right? Like, look how much you can get if you host a show. But they want to have fun. And then the second reason is free product. So, gee, if you can incorporate them both, then you're great. And then to help a friend.
So I think this is really important.
It's
I
huge.
mean, what we just
The psychology of it all.
We're talking about the benefits, but I think then you're actually saying, okay, it really does start with the attitude because I'm going to portray the fun and I'm going to talk about having fun, and then I'm going to add on that, well, everything that you're going to get for free or half off. So you'd be silly not to book a show. That's just crazy talk. Okay.
And Kathy says that kind of stuff and gets away with it. And if you have an opportunity to see or hear Belinda Ellsworth, she has some really interesting ideas. It's all psychology and then how to execute on that. So she's great. And she does have DVDs and CDs out there. What is the number one reason why someone didn't book a show? You didn't ask. Hate that. Fear. And so the way you take care of that is your friends will love it. Kathy, again's really good at that. I'm not so great about remembering to tell her it's okay. It's going to be okay. You're going to have fun. It's going to be great. Your friends are going to love it. And they can't make a decision. Teresa kind of did that, right? And so I just said, okay, well, do you want to do this or this? And Belinda talks about this at length, but basically what you say is, when would you like to host a show? Are mornings or evenings better? Evenings, great. Weekdays or weekends? Weekdays, great. Evenings, great. Is that a Tuesday or a Thursday? My next available Tuesday is this day. And you just sort of back them into that corner. And then at checkout, compliment their choices and then ask these 3 questions. I don't do this. I think it's awesome. Did you have fun tonight? Were you able to get everything you wanted? Do you think your friends would enjoy this? I always just assume they had fun. I always just assume they didn't get everything they wanted because no one has that kind of money, right? Because, gee, everyone wants more than what they can get. And do you think your friends would enjoy this? I assume that. So maybe that's anyway, I think those are great points, and you either need to assume it and articulate it.
I definitely ask if they had fun.
You do? And what if they say no?
They never say no.
Right.
They never say no. But what it does is they sort of go, yeah, I did. You know, I don't even wear jewelry, but I did have fun. So that does open the door to the next question of, you really should be booking the show. I don't say, did you get everything you wanted?
So you
And
just say, did you have fun? And then
Did
you
you
go
have fun?
into,
Or I
you know, you're
say,
looking at shows.
wasn't this fun tonight? I really had a good time with you. You know, so I'm just establishing that. But I do ask the question about fun. In some form, I ask it or make the comment so that she's going to respond. And sometimes it does take people a second to go, yeah, I'm really surprised, but I did have fun.
Okay.
So that does open the door to booking the show.
Okay, there you go. Then customer care calls, I think this is a great way to remember it. And remember, you know, we've talked a lot tonight about making those calls in the first 24 to 48 hours. If for some reason you don't do it until 72 hours, you still should do it. You shouldn't go, oh shucks, I've lost it all, I don't need to make a phone call. And her concept is 2 plus 2 plus 2. And you make the first call 2 days after the sale, the second call 2 weeks after the sale, a third call 2 months after the sale. What? Did you make a fourth phone call? Because then she just falls into whatever routine you have. But again, like I said, 2 days, 2 weeks. And the one thing I think is really important, and I always say this in my call, in fact, often I don't even ask them if there's anything else I can get them. In my first call, in that first 48 hours, I just called to say, oh my gosh, Susie Q, thank you so much. I had a great time. I really appreciate your purchase, and if I can do anything for you. So I do leave that. But I don't actually follow up with anything other than that. My call on the first 48 hours is just, thank you very much. 2 weeks later, are you enjoying your jewelry? Are you still getting compliments on it? Is there anything I can do for you right now? And then third call, again, that's just, I mean, at that point you are checking up. You're saying things like, we have a new season, you know, have you thought about these gifts? Whatever it is, again. But so 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus another 2 plus 2 plus 2.
Until they tell you to quit calling.
Right.
Nobody ever says that.
I've never had that.
Yeah, nobody ever says that.
Yeah, I know they might stop taking my phone calls,
Right.
but they never tell me not to
Right.
call. Yes. But I do think the attitude of gratitude is really important. That's it.
Okay.
I did it in
You
5
did
minutes.
it. You
Woo!
did it. Yay. So let's have like a really quick recap. In case we didn't say this in a way that you're writing this down and taking notes, booking shows really is they're out there everywhere. You just have to learn how to talk to people, and it's going to take some experience. It's going to take some trial and error. But if you sort of start looking at people like, I know Cookie Lee fits into your life somewhere, I'm just going to figure out where it is. It's either going to be booking a show, which might lead you to signing up, or, you know, maybe I could be doing a fundraiser for you. So you're just going to start listening to people and start figuring out, playing your own little competition with yourself. Where can I fit them into Cookie Lee? If it starts with an individual sale, if it starts with a donation for a fundraiser, if it starts with, you know, can I help you get something for your mom for Mother's Day or whatever, find a way with people that you're talking to get their contact information and to figure out where Cookie Lee fits into their life. That's about building relationships. It is not practical to think that everybody you meet is going to book a show with you in the next 30 seconds. It might take building that relationship over and over, and that you've called on somebody and there was a sale, and then 6 months later, and you will hear stories where somebody says, I've known this woman for 2 years and finally she booked a show. Or I've known her for 3 years and finally she decided to sign up. Because people will say yes when it is the right time for them, not when it's the right time for you. So your actions and your reactions are really critical. So if I were to ask Rami or Teresa to book a show right now, and their answers were no, probably that had a lot to do with what was going on in their life right now. But if I acted very upset, or I can't believe you won't do this for me, what is the likelihood of them booking a show in the future? None. So you can kiss away the client forever, or you can leave the door open. And you have to respect the fact that you know there's been times in your life where somebody has asked you to do something, or somebody has offered you something, and you know you've said no. So put yourself in their position and say, well, great. When is the next time that I could check back with you? It seems like you're really busy right now, and I know the wedding has to happen and everything. Would it be possible for me to check back with you in 6 months? And the answer most likely is going to be yes, or whatever time frame that you've offered. And actually do that. Actually develop your follow-up system and do that. So when we're building relationships, we know that they can't be built in 30 seconds. And some people are going to take longer, and some people are going to be so excited they're going to want to do something right away. But as long as you have a system to follow up with these people, you will build a nice clientele. And if they don't book right now, they will book later. But booking is the key to all the other elements of your business. If you're not doing home shows, remember, no show, no dough, right? If you're not doing home shows, you're not making any money, and you don't have any future business. You are technically out of business till you have another home show on your books. Any questions on what we talked about? We did so good. It's 8:30. We did so good on the time. Any questions? Comments, or just like I'm scared, or what do I do? Wow.
The best
Okay.
business
I
ever.
do have something.
Yes, Rami,
I am very shy
you are
when it comes to being in front of a lot of people.
right.
And so, what would you recommend for somebody that is like that when they are first starting out and they love Cookie Lee, they love the jewelry, they love everything about Cookie Lee, and they're starting out? What would you say to somebody like that?
Well, gee, I don't know. Yeah, that was me. Remember, I was very, very shy. And actually, like I said, for about a year and a half, I didn't talk to anybody. But I figured out it didn't serve me very well. I could not upsell. I was not booking shows. I mean, I was still having enough success, but it was not where I wanted it to be because I wasn't talking to enough people. What I did realize, though, is I never have to see those people again. In that show, I really never have to see them again. And once you step out and you just give yourself grace and say, do it once, it is much easier the next time and the next time and the next time. It's not brain surgery. And I really had to tell myself that. Okay, come on. They can say no. But what you do know is you are much more of an expert than anybody else in the room. So you could almost say anything. They don't know if you've been in the business 10 years. If you're shy, if you're scared, they have no clue unless you tell them that. And if you don't tell them that and you just speak from the heart and ask for what you want. If you don't ask, you're not going to get it. But ask for what you want, it just becomes easier and easier. You do have to take that first step, though. And I was that person, so no excuses.
That's great. Thanks.
Okay, you're
Thanks.
welcome. Yes.
What's the best way to approach people that are interested in being a consultant? Because I don't want to be overbearing. Yeah, pushy. I don't want to be pushy with them. I want them to know that it's fun.
Okay, so the question is, what's the best way to approach somebody who wants to be a consultant, or you think they want to be a consultant, or
They've shown interest.
they've shown interest?
How?
Okay. Definitely use what corporate has put out there, which is the recruiting cards. And the recruiting cards give you permission to really make sure that you're on task. Okay, and you could watch the video where Trisha did a recruiting interview. It's just awesome, and that's on our Ustream channel. But basically, it is not only keeping you on task to get out certain points that you want to talk about, but it's also showing that potential recruit that this is pretty easy. They give you cards, and you could just look at that, and you could talk about these, various points of the business. So what I would talk about is at least you want to get somebody to the interview to talk about the cards, to have those cards out there. And you could use the fact that you're new and say, I'm new too, I would love to have you in this business. What I'd like to do is sit down over a cup of coffee and just talk to you a little bit about this business. I promise I won't take more than 20 or 30 minutes of your time. And if you go through those recruiting cards at that point, you will feel more comfortable and she will feel more comfortable. Okay? And then also your upline can help with any questions.
What happens if you're not able to get through those cards, get that one moment to sit down and go through our recruiting cards? I have a gal, she communicated to me that she would like to sell the jewelry.
Okay.
So she gave me, it was SmackDown. I didn't have a Post-it, so I had to use my receipt
Uh-huh.
from the purchase to get her info. So the next day I give her a call. There's no answer. I had to leave a message. So I gave it another day. I stopped by her work and not able to find her. She's off already. So I've done that several times, and then I ended up texting her once, asking her to set, maybe a half hour over time, and I have yet been able to get lucky on that. And then the last attempt, the phone number is disconnected.
Okay. Well, I would say you're going to move on from that one. But basically, if she was truly interested and you're trying to reach out to set that appointment and she's not returning the phone call, I'm going to say that that's just a no-go anyway. And you'll find when somebody is truly interested, then they're going to set that appointment with you. But it's just a casual meeting, and if she doesn't have the time to do that, you can do it over the phone, or you can ask her, like Tricia says, basically what's our next step, and are you ready to get started? You can send her that invitation to join, and then leave it at that. Put her on a follow-up system.
Okay. Or should I have just given her the recruiting packet at the first moment I met her? Or?
It doesn't appear that would have made the difference to me. I don't think she's ready to go. But I would definitely follow up with an email and the recruiting invitation. When you're ready, just go online, sign up.
Okay. And then I keep getting messages from her coworker. Yeah, she's really interested. She's just really busy, have another job, It's like, okay, well.
I would probably
here's my
ask to
number,
meet
just
her on
let
her
me-
lunch hour then. I would just ask, can I come down and meet you on your lunch hour? It'll take 5 minutes for you to sign the form. I mean, at that point, she's either going to say no or she's going to say, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments today?
Can you explain what your ring is all about?
This ring?
Yeah.
This ring?
I noticed something blinking.
Did you
on
see
your
that
finger.
Trisha had the same
I
ring?
did, and I tried it on.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
So we have the opportunity to earn a trip every year through Cookie Lee, and you can even earn a guest ticket, and you could earn a prorated portion of a guest ticket if you'd like. And about 5 or 6 years ago, Cookie decided to make a ring specific for that trip every year. And so if you earn the trip, you could get the ring. And they're all different. Every year they're completely different. Like last year was this huge ring that is sort of a diamond shape in these clusters of circles of crystals and really big. And then this year was this one, and I was showing someone the other one that I earned on another trip. And what Cookie used to say, because I was earning trips before she had the rings, is when you go on a trip, find a place to buy a ring. Because she didn't sell rings at that time. I remember I was in the workout with her at like Turks and Caicos or something like that. And I said, you have to sell rings. Please sell rings. And she said, I'm not going to do rings because then you have sizing and issues. And I said, no, you could get people to purchase them ahead of time. Like we've got to ante up and pay for them ahead of time. And then you go make them. So that's when rings were born. We were actually on the treadmill together doing this. But at that point, she was still saying, when you go on these trips, buy a ring. Then when you do your shows, people say, well, is that Cookie Lee? No, but I got it on a Cookie Lee trip. And I was in the Bahamas, and I went to this shop, and I got this ring. Oh, trip, tell me about that. Well, then she started to make rings for each trip. And this one is for Ernie Puerto Rico, and which Tricia and I and many, many other consultants will leave next in a month, like 3.5 weeks.
Yeah, it's the
Where's
16th.
everybody?
We'll already be there at the beach.
Yeah, yes, we will be at the beach.
It is.
And
I'm not counting or anything, but it's 4 weeks and
Yeah.
10 days.
and these rings that we get for the trip are sized. Again, they're a different design every single year. This has got to be one of my
Can you
favorites.
pass it around?
I can, but there is an alarm on it. I just want to.
Let me see that.
Because I'm gonna try it on again.
Yes. And
It went in
Oh,
in my purse. I'm sorry, I don't know how that happened.
Are you
what happened?
I tossed her my ring and she tried to steal it.
What
It
happened?
jumped in my bag. I didn't have to.
So that's
You
just
didn't try to
another
steal
little
it,
perk.
You didn't try to steal it, you just did?
It just jumped in
That's
there.
The trip rings are probably my most favorite pieces of jewelry. And not because everybody asks about it, but because
That's her. Oh,
Did you see it?
Yes.
I love them. They're sized
they're
and you,
exactly the same size.
you know.
as
yeah,
Bag. That
Is that a
doesn't sound
6?
like
that's a 6.
I wondered.
Uh-huh. Wondered what size
I
it was?
wondered where it came from because I saw it.
Oh, yes.
She has a new ring on.
Yeah, that is the trip ring. That is the trip ring for this year.
I
Thank
have a
you.
question
And
for
when
you
they
with
knock on
regards
the door, they hand you
to
a little package.
Yes.
recruiting.
Okay,
So,
question on recruiting.
Like if you are listening or on Facebook and you hear somebody mention or see them post something about, oh my gosh, I need to find a job,
Right.
or you know, just that that they need some extra income,
Mhm.
and you love Cookie Lee because it's fun and this is an
Yes.
awesome group, and you love the jewelry.
Right.
How do you convey that to them without being too pushy?
So, if you got in your car tomorrow morning and you went up to the mall because you wanted to get a blouse and you walked into Nordstrom and there was a surprise 50% off sale on everything in the store for the next 2 hours, would you call anybody?
Probably.
You would? You would tell them that you just found this great opportunity, this great sale? And why would you tell them that?
Because I want them to be able to take advantage of it.
You do? You don't want it all for yourself? That's so odd. One time I was doing
But I
it.
guess if I'm more like, there's, I'll give you the example. So
Okay.
there's a girlfriend that I used to go to we went to high school together.
Yes.
She lives in Arizona. She was mentioning that she was looking for this job and
Right.
blah blah blah, and she's not looking for any like legal professional or like
Yeah.
it's just a job.
Mhm.
And so I emailed her and I said, hey, have you ever heard of Cookie Lee? I just started and it's so awesome. I love it. You know, check out my website, see, you know, just kind of feel it out and see if it's something you might be interested in. And so she did, but I'm just wondering, like, how many times do you follow up with her before?
Every day.
Well, go
What
ahead.
happened? So she looked at your website and,
But she never, like, replied back to me and gave me any feedback. So
but you know she looked at your website.
she said she would check it out.
So where, did you send her the email that says, so did you check it out? What do you think? Or how are you feeling? Or what's our next step? Or
No,
have you sent her a piece of jewelry?
no.
Catalog.
No.
Okay.
Those are all.
Those are all options. None of them are required, but those are all options.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two.
You know, so,
I guess that's
So Kathy's gonna
where
say something
I'm
soft.
shy
Okay,
and I
so-
don't want to like
Kathy's gonna
push
do one
myself
softer.
on anyone.
lack of decision
Like she
really.
didn't come to me asking for it, so that's why I don't want to be like,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But when somebody is calling for help, it is in our nature to help. So what you know to help with right now is Cookie Lee. So that's what you can say. I did find something. I think you would be a perfect fit because. Not just that she should do it, but because. Because I've always known you to be an outgoing personality, or I've always known that you love jewelry, or I think you could appreciate the profit margin. So there's something that you know about her that would fit into that conversation.
okay.
And then say that you would like to follow up with her on this. But that there is no harm in just giving it a try. You don't, a lot of times we don't know what we're missing until we do something. I was doing a training once years ago at convention, and somebody said in the audience, I've known this friend of mine who's been selling Cookie Lee for 4 years, and she's been trying to get me to do it for 4 years. And I finally joined. And now I hate myself for not joining 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And so she said, nobody knows what they're missing until they actually do something. It's all that fear. And so that first commitment of joining just brings that down a little bit. And so if you could just minimize that and just say, why don't we get in and try and we'll just do the baby steps. You just do this and you just do this. And there's no harm in deciding later that you don't like it. But it is something that will serve the need that you're looking for. And you can help her through that way. I think, again, if you're coming from a place of service, she has a need. You're trying to fill that. That's what women do. That's what we do as friends. We're trying to fill that. If it's not about you and you're trying to fill a need, then that will happen.
Okay.
I think it's a very good question. And I think there's a lot of different ways to respond to her. But it's not that you would gain so much by her signing up, but I think what you're feeling is I just don't know how to convey that she would like this
Right.
and that she would be good at this. So you might even ask her just to trust you on it. Just trust me on this. That it's not, this is not a bad thing if we decide not to do it later. But just trust me on this and take this one step.
Okay.
And that's
See how that
nice
goes.
because you already have that relationship,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
you can say, just trust me on this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, we were in drill team together.
Right.
We haven't really
So it won't
spoken
feel
since though, so
uncomfortable
it's
to
like,
you to say that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's not out anything. She gets the jewelry. I mean, like,
Yeah.
and that was my thing. I'm like, well, I'm gonna get that jewelry for the rest is a
Just
piece-
say, I would
I
want
know.
somebody to tell me. If they knew something, I would want somebody to tell me. So I do know something that I think could help you. Give it a shot.
okay.
And I'll be there to support you and the whole team. Okay, try that. Okay, it's quiet. All right, any other questions or comments? I think we did really good. It's
Yeah.
10 to 9. That's a lot of things to talk about. So just go home, digest it, look back in your notes. This is meant to be, your permanent binder to refer back to, but you got a lot of individual tips from leaders and stuff. So that was really great.
It's all online, right?
It is. It's on the recording. Thank you, Tricia, so much because you are always so confident when you speak. It's amazing. Thank you to Lisa for helping us with training. Thank you to Rami and everybody else who had tips that pitched in on that. And I really appreciate the questions. Thank you, Patty, because those questions are real and everybody needs to know the answer to them. And the answers are going to be different every time, but you're just going to try. Right? Try and put that information out there. Okay, thank you so much. I think it was just Heather that was on with us tonight, but thank you very much. And the recording will be up for everybody to view. And we are going to say goodnight on Booking and the Home Show.